getting dicey.
D&D Beyond.
Okay. All right. So we're with the Baron at the top of the order now. Before we go to your turn, Shannon, Morley had just run up to tell you something.
Yes.
And I'll let Morley deliver that now.
Baron. The pillars. We can collapse the room on them.
Collapse the room on us.
Collapse the room on him. We run. The roof collapses. He dies.
That's a great... Isn't he biting Loris?
Well, yes, but I think the thought stands.
Okay, crush Loris.
I was never that fond of him anyway, Baron.
Let's do it. If you can get Bill away from him and Ismark, we can... I'll attack the pillars.
But it is your turn, Brintel, so...
Oh, first name basis.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So who the fuck's Brintel?
Well, oh shit. I'm going... Everything's complicated. I just went to use a spell. I went to use a spell and I was on the wrong character. I was on my Pugman Bips character. And I was
he's not in this campaign.
I know. Maybe he will be once I die. Okay, I'm going to cast Toll the Dead. And it's a wisdom saving throw of 15 for...
Yeah, okay, cool. Wisdom. He's rolled a
The doorman?
12 with a 0 modifier, so he's failed.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to roll 2d8.
Oh, dang.
Oh, a 7 and a 1.
And what kind of damage is that? That's
Necrotic.
So that's towards 8. Like I said, there's no great easy way of mentioning this, but he's taken half damage from that.
Okay.
Cool. Is there any kind of bonuses that come with that one? I know you've got a spell that stops them from being able to do things.
No, not that one. I just didn't want to do anything where I had to aim at him because he's entangled with Loris.
Entangled is a very good word for the romance that's happening between Doru and Loris at the moment. Okay. Can't forget the cow.
Engaged.
You're engaged. Aw. So nice. Anything else from the Baron?
The right building for it. No.
I just think it's too soon, though.
They've only just met.
I don't support this.
Well, I am playing Loris tonight, and I say let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
B.
Wait, anything else from the Baron? Sorry.
No.
No. Cool. American, over to you.
So you mentioned that Lightbringer got thrown out of Loris's hands. I don't know exactly where it's landed.
See over here,
oh,
at
there
the top
it is.
of the room there.
So I want to use for my turn. I want to run over to it, and I want to throw it over towards the vicinity so it's lit up where the action's happening, so everyone can see what's happening.
Yeah, cool. Whereabouts did you want to throw it?
I want to hopefully have it land right next to Loris, so it lights up the action so everyone can see.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
And he could potentially retrieve it, although I don't know how interested he might be in that.
Give me first of all, how is your Roll20 working? How's that looking at the moment? So feel free to move your token and all that. So
yes,
all right.
Yes.
I'd say I'll let you. Yeah, this would probably be. I'm going to let this be a bonus action where it's just kind of like running over, scooping it up with your foot, and lobbing it over to that part of the room.
Oh, bonus action.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, if I've got another action, I guess I'll just keep shooting arrows and hoping for the best. I know he's in, what is he, in 3/4 cover or something?
Yeah, I'd say 3/4 cover. So we're going to add a 5 to his AC.
Give it a crack. Rolling a 20.
A 20 is perfect. Now, one of the things I did get asked about in regards to the people who are watching versus people who are listening, when you roll your dice, can you tell us what you rolled and then add your modifier? So at the moment, all of our viewers are just seeing a 14, but you're saying 20, so it's quite confusing.
Yeah,
so if you can say
okay.
14 plus my 6 modifier, So Anyway, I've just
Yeah.
explained that
Okay.
one
So
again.
I rolled a. What do I? So I get +3 for my dex, and I have proficiency of 3. Okay, so I get +6 on it.
Yeah, cool. Rolling
I rolled a
two.
14 +6. This is going to teach me how the game actually works, huh?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's a hit. Despite Loris being on top of this guy, you managed to shoot a bolt right into Doru's side.
9 piercing damage.
All right, and that does only half of that. So that bolt hits in and just sort of like pops into his side. Anything else from American?
No.
Okay, perfect. Bill, over to you.
So Loris and Doru are on the ground, and Loris is on top still.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so that means that he's prone. So if I try to stab him from where I am, is that easier or harder than normal?
Because of where you are, it'll be I'll still even let you do it as at advantage.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll stab him with the pointy end.
Yeah, great. Give me a roll with advantage, please.
21, which is 15 plus my modifier of 6.
Cool. Yeah, that's perfect. So you just whereabouts are you aiming with this rapier?
Just between the ribs.
Yeah, cool. And you managed to just slide that in between his ribs, and he screams out. But you have only done half damage on him. Anything else from Bill?
Can I? It's an action to pick up a weapon, eh?
You can pick up something. It's as a free action.
I would like to pick up Lightbringer.
Okay, nice. All right, great.
Yay!
All right,
Like
so
Thor's hammer or something.
It's a little bit of teamwork there.
Do I manage to lift it up, or is
Too
it?
heavy.
oh no, it's easy as
Far-
to lift up. No,
Can
Far
you
too
whisper
easy.
Lightbringer? Lightbringer.
Lightbringer. All right. So I've just removed.
Springer.
Cool.
One Springer. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. It is
Amish.
Loris's. It's Loris's turn. So what Dave wants me to do with Loris for this first time is just look for a splinter of wood from that pillar that he broke. And he finds it. He reaches out by his side and finds this splinter of wood that fits nicely in his hand. It's sharp on one side, enough to make a make-do stake. And he just brings that down with advantage. Let's roll for advantage. Oh yeah, perfect. He's rolled more than enough, and 19 plus his strength modifier of 7 or something, and just brings that down right into the chest of Doru. And Doru just lets out this massive scream as Loris stands back and gets to his feet to sort of look down. He looks out at everyone with a proud look on his face, and a big grin on his face. And he looks down at Doru, who is just screaming in agony, who just grabs onto this stake, wiggles it free from his chest, and just throws it across the room. He has done... what are we going to call that? We'll do a D. We'll just do a D.
He's done a D's worth of damage.
A D's worth of damage. He's done a total of 6 damage to Doru. And then Loris's grin as he looks down and sees Doru just pull this out of his chest and throw it to the side just drops. This is not at all what Loris was expecting. It is Morley's turn.
Molly's going to yell out, "Grab him by the feathers!" Which probably won't make a lot of sense to the rest of the party right now.
Okay.
But then I'm going to draw my my bow, and I would imagine he's slightly easier to hit now.
He's still lying on the ground, so yeah. I think it's with disadvantage if someone's prone lying on the ground.
Yeah. Yep.
If it's a ranged attack.
Yeah. Okay. Which is A 19.
Give us a second roll, because it is going to be at disadvantage.
Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, 15.
So was that a 10 plus a 5? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
15. Cool. That's a hit. And it just saws through, and again just like slams into his shoulder. He's got a couple of these arrows sticking out of that same side now. And he just again grabs at it and just twists it from his arm, throws it down onto the ground. Anything else from Morley?
Given I had sort of instructed Baron on my plan to collapse the room,
Yeah.
I'm going to turn to Mirakin and say, Mirakin, we can collapse the room. We can knock out the pillars, Mirakin. And then I'm going to start kind of moving towards the stairs, just a couple of steps.
Okay, cool. It is Doru's turn. And just like the events from last week, he scrambles up to his feet and just launches himself towards Loris. What are we rolling here?
D.
He's just rolling that D. Swipes out at Loris's face as he launches towards him. And he rolled a total of 25. 19 plus 6 is 25, doing 5 damage against Loris. And then while as he lands, just sinks his teeth back into Loris's neck.
Is Loris raging?
Loris is raging.
Okay. So the piercing damage is halved, piercing or slashing.
Is it both, is it?
It's all piercing, slashing,
Okay,
blunt.
cool. Okay, cool. So let's give Dave back some of that. Cool. Bites, and he rolled really high yet again, a total of 24, doing 4 piercing damage and 9 necrotic damage. So there'll be 2 and 9, so 11 damage total, bringing that down to Loris is looking very bloodied now, and his max HP has dropped another 9. And Loris is now starting to take some pretty deep breaths, and he's looking paler than normal.
I think got a plan B.
Yeah, now you get to see his plan B. Is
Can I yell out
Yeah,
to anyone during this? Can I back up Morley's plan here of to tell people to run away?
not at this point. You can on your turn for sure.
All right.
Ismark runs towards Doru and Loris, and manages to flank Doru, which is probably very helpful at this point, and just swipes out with the longsword at his side, and then brings it back across Doru for a second attack. He's done very well. Both of his attacks slash across Doru's back, doing a total of 8 damage total.
Get in there, man.
Get in
More
there.
heals.
Yeah. Go,
and-
Ismark, go.
And we're back with the Baron.
Okay, I'm gonna start to see the wisdom in Morley's plan here. I'm gonna yell out to everyone near this creature to get away from it because we're gonna collapse the roof. But it doesn't look like he's anyone can move at this point. So hopefully they heard that.
Yeah, everyone in the
gonna-
room would have heard that.
I'm gonna walk to the northwest, and then I'm going to attempt to shoot him
All
with
right.
chill touch,
Chill touch.
which is D20 plus 7. So that's a 2 plus 7.
Oh no, that's an unfortunate miss. Sorry.
Okay. There's not much else I can do.
Okay.
That's it.
American, we're back with you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if someone's flanked, do only the people flanking him get advantage, or does anyone, like, even ranged attacks?
The people who are flanking.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I've heard the idea about collapsing the ceiling, but before I make any rash decisions about destroying a room, I want to see how he's looking. How damaged is he looking? I'm trying to figure out if we can take him or not.
How damaged Doro is looking?
Yeah.
Well, Loris. Doro has a lot of damage to him. He's got holes in his side. He's got slashes across his back, but he's not at all he doesn't look like he's got much of a problem, to be honest.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
In fact, now that you take a closer look, you've noticed that some of those holes in his arm and his side where the crossbow bolts and the rapier had like plunged in have just healed over.
Oh no. This is serious. This changes my battle plan slightly.
Yeah.
Your turn.
He's not allowed to regenerate. Rude. I'm gonna stick with it because I can't think of anything. I'm scared though. I am gonna come forward, and I'm going to thorn whip him, and I'm gonna yell out, "Get him while he's entangled!" And I'm gonna thorn whip him, wrap the thorn hopefully around his ankles, and pull him towards me, getting it. Hopefully, if it hits, so let's not get too excited. I've rolled. What have I rolled? An 11 plus 6.
Perfect.
So 17, and I'm hoping he gets opportunity attacks.
Yeah, so
if he gets dragged forward.
Even with the fact that he's kind of surrounded, you do manage to whip it around one of his arms and pull him between Bill and Ismark, and then away towards you an extra 5 feet. That does open up an opportunity attack from both Loris and Ismark, but unfortunately not Bill. So let's grab Ismark's one first. Yeah. He's got his long sword out, so he just swipes out as he disappears and manages to connect with his long sword, doing 5 damage. Loris, currently unarmed, just sort of reaches out with his hand to do an unarmed strike. And he crit fails. How badly?
Very apt. Very in character.
Doing a 17.
This is gonna hurt.
He rolls 74, so it's not too bad in regards to how bad a crit is. But he does just put a right hook across Bill's jaw, just doing 3 damage, through 3 bludgeoning damage.
I'm going to use the rest of my turn to retreat back towards the staircase where Morley is.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Bill, it's over to you. You have heard the Baron call out that we're going to collapse the room.
I would like to try something.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hand... Is Loris standing now?
Loris is standing, yeah.
I would like to kind of hand him Lightbringer.
Mm-hmm.
And as we as he goes to grab it and he touches me, I'm going to sing him a song. We tried to help the Padre, Doru's father, yeah. Foul beast refrain from stealing Laurel's health. We're so over you. Laurel's will be forever blue. That you're taking his reason for living. That you let them know, that you let them know, that you let them know, that you let them know HP. Oh, vampire, please give a little respect to the rose. And I'm going to cast a lot Kill Wounds.
Still trying to figure out what song that was.
I know. Part of it started to sound like the opening to the Muppets. What was it?
I know
Erasure.
The what?
Erasure.
Which Erasure song? That one that was on the Unicorn game?
No. The only one that I know.
I'll have to look at it.
It's a Bill
Well, John-
original. Got it.
Yeah.
John, it was very good. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So this is healing for Loris, is it?
So I rolled a 11 plus 4, so 15 points of healing.
15 points of healing. Okay, cool.
And then I'm just gonna say, Loris, man, we're gonna get out of here. Come on.
Okay. And you look at Loris, and he's just got that red rage in his eyes, and he takes Lightbringer from you and just places it on his back next to his axe. Still
Oh,
glowing.
great. Great.
You didn't want him to? No, you didn't want that to happen.
No.
Okay.
Do I get to roll my the 15?
He hasn't started his plan B yet. You might love his plan B.
But what if, like, as he starts putting it away, Bill's like, whoa, wait, why are you putting it away?
Whoa.
You okay? Sure. You
Well,
can. You can
I mean, I did say to him, we got to get out of here.
You should have
Like,
said
that's my-
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to ask him to alter his plan as he his eyes glow red and he
Right.
places away his thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
we gotta get out of here, man. Just shaking my head at him.
So I roll a d20 when someone gives Loris a suggestion. If I roll over 15, then I take that person's suggestion, and I have rolled a 6. So it looks like Loris's plan B is about to roll out, as the Transformers
Okay.
would say. Anything else from Bill?
No.
Give it up. A sigh of resignation, perhaps.
Loris looks almost through you, Bill, and just charges around, leaping onto Doru's back, and just sinks his teeth deep into Doru's neck.
Yeah.
Who saw that one coming? Did anyone see that
I'm
one
not
coming?
surprised.
Yeah.
I was not sure what to expect, actually.
And he just sinks his teeth
Whoa.
in with a roll of an 18 plus his 7 modifier. And he does... and then and again, just because he's in that rage, he just bites in one more time as well. The second one is a miss with a roll of a 6, but plus his modifier. But that first one, he sinks in. And something you haven't seen Loris do for quite some time. You might have a memory of him killing a sturge and then just squeezing all of its blood into his mouth. Back when you were doing the Lost Mine of Phandelver. He sinks his teeth into Doru and just starts sucking and drinking the blood from Doru's neck. But he has done a little bit of damage to Doru.
Does he like spit the blood out or?
Now he's straight up
Right.
drinking the blood from Doru's neck.
Butt chugging it.
Just like a juice box, just portable, portable juice
In
box.
Loris's mind, he's thinking, if this guy can bite me and get my blood, I need to get my blood back. And he's and that's Loris's turn.
Makes
Blood
sense.
in, blood out.
Blood in, blood out. That's how the body works.
That's that old 80s
Holmes.
martial arts movie.
Blood in, blood
80s
out.
gang movie.
Yeah, is it a gang movie? I've only seen the cover. I always wanted to watch it.
It's pretty awesome.
The cover was cool.
Vatos locos.
Morley, we're over with you.
Well, Molly's momentarily stunned by what he's witnessing, thinking, this is the stupidest motherfucker I have ever had the misfortune to do battle with.
Can I just put out there, and this is for Loris and Dave when he's listened. You're down here to put someone out of his misery, not to
eat them.
not to just enjoy the battle. But anyway, Morley, over to you.
Yeah, Molly still thinks this is pretty fucking stupid. So I'm gonna yell out to Bill and Ismark. I'm gonna give Loris a glance and then look back and go, Bill, Ismark, let's get out of here. And then I'm gonna fire off a witch bolt at at this kind of pillar that's closest to Bill and Loris and Doru.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
to start trying to rip out these support beams. You know,
The one that I'm
This one?
pinging?
Yeah.
Or the green?
the
This
one that. Yep, that's the one.
Cool.
All right.
Give us a roll to hit.
A rat, baby. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's
What have we got
yeah.
there?
I don't even know what I'm reading here.
All
But
right.
it's a combined total of
18.
21.
Yeah, 18 plus your 3. So yeah, that just a bolt of that blue energy just cracks out from your hand and just hits that wood. You can see it just sort of do a shockwave of blue ripple from where it hits to the ground and to the ceiling, and it just splinters out. It just explodes out,
Whoa.
covering sort of Bill and Ismark just with like sawdust. Basically, it's you've destroyed that pillar completely.
Which one got destroyed?
The one sort of in front of Loris and Bill.
So these two are destroyed.
That's correct. The one behind Bill and the one in front of Bill are now destroyed.
Okay.
Any additional saggage?
Yes, yes. There is some saggage. For a moment, you can see just a little bit of the candlelight coming from the chapel above. Yeah. Anything else from Morley?
I'm just gonna repeat my click. Run!
Perfect.
That's it.
It's just Doru and Loris here. Doru having now been bitten again. Anyone who's keeping an eye on Doru would notice that the slashes that Ismark gave across Doru's back have now healed over completely. And he snarls back at Loris, twists in Loris's grip, and just slashes into Loris's face once more. And he has rolled a 6 plus 6, so 12. That's finally a miss there. And he tries once more with his claws just to try and do some damage. And he's rolled a 15 for a total of 21, dealing 8 damage across Loris's stomach this time.
His abs.
Yeah.
His dad bod, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His abs.
And then, and you can see just like this trickle of blood across that entire scratch, sort of beading and then starting to flow down Loris's stomach. And Doru is just looking at it with just absolute hunger in his eyes. It's Ismark's turn, and having heard the call to run, just swipes out at the pillar at his side with his longsword. Rolling. Oh, he just manages that first one sort of just like sinks into a bit of wood, and it's a little tougher than he thinks. And he just raises it back once more and just destroys, just slices that pillar through, and looks over at Morley and gives him a nod, and just takes off across the room and positions himself next to another pillar in the room. So that's 3 pillars destroyed, and that section of the room is really starting to sag now. You're taking a lot of load-bearing pillars out at the moment. Baron, it's your turn.
Well, I would have tried to join in that, but people are standing right next to where we want to collapse it. So I'm not going to collapse it on Bill and Loris. I'm going to take a step back to just in line with the back of the vampire that's biting Loris, and I'm going to attempt to shoot it with Chill Touch again.
Yeah.
Where's my thing? Another 2 plus 7.
Again, that's another miss from the Baron.
Yeah, 2 2s in a row. I'm just going to yell out to Loris and to Bill to back off. The roof's going to come down.
D20. He's rolled an 8.
I'm going to step back a bit further as well.
Yeah.
Towards the east.
Mirakin, over to you.
I'm getting nervous. Mirakin looks over and she just sees the bloodlust in Loris's eyes, and she recalls that we made this choice as a compassionate choice to put someone out of their misery, and the fact that he seems to be just spiraling into like bloodlust and just loving protracting the battle is just really gross to her. And she calls out, everyone get out of there in 5 seconds. I'll end this. And she raises her staff and prepares a spell, imploring Loris to heed her words.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 2 rolls because 5 and a 10. 5 and a 10.
Oh my god. Well, do I need to tell you what the spell is that I'm? Because if you
can just say
what is it? If you prepare it, you do expend the spell slot.
Yeah. You don't have to tell me what the spell is because I want it to be a surprise because I have no idea what it is. But what is your trigger for that action?
Well, I said 5 seconds, but I guess
so your next turn.
I will wait until Loris has had his turn and has had a chance to get out of there before I do anything.
How about we can do that, or we can give you like at the end, so right before your next turn you can do it, or right before like Doru's turn you can do it. You can choose. If it's right after Loris, we can do that, but it may not give other people a chance to move out. I don't know.
Okay, I'll wait till everyone's had a chance to move out of the way.
Cool. All right, that's exciting. Bill.
Okay. I am also going to cast a spell.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Charm Person on Loris.
Wow.
Ooh, can you do
That's
that?
exciting.
PvP?
There's nothing in here that says that I can't. And I'm just going to go... I never wanted to have to use this on an ally, but I think it's for his own good.
So it's a wisdom saving throw, yeah?
Yeah.
I am going to allow it.
And I just say, Loris, we need to go, pal.
Okay. Loris has rolled a 4 for a total of 5.
That is not enough.
Yeah. So he's charmed, right?
He's charmed by me.
So when the spell ends, Loris is going to be well aware that he has been charmed by you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So what are you suggesting from Loris now?
I'm saying we got to get out of here, pal.
Yeah. He looks over to you, and the rage subsides when he looks over to you. He doesn't have that same sort of control over himself anymore, and he looks at you and he just lets go of Doru, and sort of takes that step back, and he just. I'm not going to do a Dave voice or a Loris voice because Dave doesn't do one. So I'm just going to say, Loris just looks at you.
No, do the Loris voice.
Loris looks at you, Bill, and just goes, yes.
That's spot on.
Okay.
You said we could see some light shining through.
Yeah, you
roof.
can see a bit of the light from the room up above, the chapel above. You can see a bit of the flickering from the candles.
Roughly, like spatially, do I know where we are in the church above?
Yeah, you kind of feel that you're beneath the left-hand side of the chapel where you were talking with Father Donovich.
I'm just going to yell out, hopefully make my voice heard through the cracks, and to say, Padre, move to the right, and I'm going to run.
Not out of the room, just to the right.
You do open
which
your...
I should, yeah.
Was
You're
it his
right.
right or your right? Oh no!
Yeah, on the right.
Which way was he facing?
East, man, east.
Doru has rolled
He'll know.
A crit 20. Slashing.
That's a hit.
Slashing out at Bill, and like cutting right across his wrist, doing you for 14 slashing damage.
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're bleeding quite a bit from where he scratched you. Anything else from Bill? I think that's pretty much everything, huh?
That is it.
Okay. It's Loris's turn. He goes to grab... we're going to do a couple of rolls here. He goes to grab Doru. He's rolled a total of 10. And Doru is just going to do a dex saving throw to try and get out of the way. He manages to just step out of Loris's grasp, frustrated and really kind of going against his very urges. He just runs towards Bill and Morley, but Doru does get to swipe out with his claws, and you can just see that frustration in Loris that he missed. And Doru has missed with a roll of a total of 14. And he's sitting there just looking at you now, Bill, and he's still got that kind of confusion on his face and frustration in his eyes as we go back to Morley.
Did that trigger American's thingy?
No.
What
Don't
was
know.
it, Dave?
American, is everyone in a position where you feel you can do your...
I think so. I think this would be a good time to do it.
Yeah, by all means.
I'm going to yell out, "All right, let's bring this thing down." And I'm going to clutch my staff tightly and start chanting in Elvish and put my hand out. And as she does so, you can see the earth around Doru start to glimmer and then start to shake and then start to buckle beneath them. And she casts Earth Tremor.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, depending on how nice the DM is, if it will also target those weakened pillars.
So what, can you describe what Earth Tremor does? Have you got like a...
Okay, so I cause a tremor in the ground within range. Each creature other than you in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. Mm-hmm. On a failed save, they take bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone. And then the ground in that area is difficult terrain.
Yeah, cool. I mean, like, these pillars aren't... how much of a... within range? Does it say what sort of range that thing has?
So the range is 10 foot.
10 foot. So it's like a... so you pick a point, it's like a 10-foot circle, or... Is that what we're going for?
I thought so.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. There's only
no, I'm like doubting everything as per usual. What if I have to be within 10 feet? Because I could run forward and do that, but...
you cause it within range. No, it just says within range. But I'm worried that...
This one's a little bit vague.
Does it say 10-foot radius on the spell, or
I
10-foot cube?
I think you need to rush out and you've basically got a 10-foot range on this spell from what I'm getting from here. So you might need to run
That's not as cool as I thought it would be, but I'll run forward.
You can still...
Because I just thought, I was like...
This is still very good.
Oops, I'm drawing on the map. I was like, this is a really good spell to use. I want to nod at Morley just quickly before I do it, just to be even more cool.
Because there's only one pillar that's really remaining in that area, and it's right next to Doru. And there's no way that the pillar is going to be able to dodge. It's got 0 dexterity. It's not going to do anything. So that fails instantly. And we do need to do a dex saving throw on Doru.
He only has to beat 12, which is a bit...
Yeah.
It's a little bit...
It's a little bit... He rolled a total of 11.
Ooh.
He doesn't see this coming, and the ground just shakes underneath his feet. Can you give me a D6, please? Shannon?
I read it. It's the range itself and a 10-foot radius.
The range
so 10 feet yourself. You cast it from yourself. I think it's 10-foot radius circle.
All right. So basically, you can just run forward, do this, and run back. That's fine.
Oh, but then other people are in my radius, aren't they? If it's going all around. Everything's ruined. Why'd you have to Google it?
It's not, doesn't mean just run close, that's all.
It's not concentration.
No, it's
just
instantaneous.
Yeah. You basically just, you'd have to run up and get that done. I think Loris, if you're there, I think only Loris is really going to have to do a save.
Yeah.
If you were in this position there. So Loris and Doru. And Doru has failed. And let's see what Loris has done. Loris has passed. He's 19 plus 2.
Oh.
Woo!
Loris is fine. He's sturdy on the
Everything's
ground.
coming up American.
Did you give me a D6? You gave me a D6 and you rolled a 5. That's perfect. So Doru gets really shaken and dropped down to his knees. He does only manage to take a little bit of that damage, but the pole next to him takes a lot more than that. It takes that full 5, and it's enough to send shakes, and it's taking so much of the weight from upstairs that it just splinters out and just is destroyed. What happens next is that the entire... Well, that section of the chapel up above, which had these old destroyed pews and stuff, just collapses down on top of Doru. There's just, and that stuff, that has all fallen from like 15-foot height. Just these broken beams of wood just crash down on top of them. This pew sort of like slides down and just lands directly on top of where he was. And there's just this big eruption of smoke and debris. And he is completely and utterly covered with broken floorboards, pews, and just bits of wood and clay.
Wow! Amazing teamwork, everyone.
Is he dead though?
Is he dead?
I am gonna be backing off as soon as
Poke him
I've
with
done
a
that
stick.
move and use the running back.
I mean, I've turned off the turn order. There's only one real way to find out if he's dead, and that's to uncover him, if that's what you wanted to do.
Is
Uncover
he
him,
making any
Loris.
noise?
No, he's not making any noise.
How much stuff are we talking? Are we talking like an insane amount for anybody to lift or crawl out of, or is it like a bunch of loose stuff?
There's like a lot of loose stuff, as well as like entire pews, chairs and stuff like that. Yeah, there's
Candlesticks.
I don't know what sort of
pastor
exactly.
fall on
There's
him?
like there's like candlesticks and stuff. Yeah, a bunch
The
of
priest
that sort of
fell
stuff.
on him.
Yeah.
The priest is okay, but you can see up through the hole that's been
elbow drop.
created.
After everything's fallen, he's just like,
The pasta. Oh yeah.
You can see up. Into
Come
that.
get a taste, son.
Better with you. Get into your room.
You're grounded.
he actually is. Oh man, a trimmer pun. Incredible.
Oh,
I like to think Morley actually said that. American would have loved it.
So you can see up into that chapel above, and the majority of that left side of that chapel is just gone. You're just looking up at the walls of the chapel at the moment, and yeah, like, there's no noise coming from it. There's a lot of debris covering where Doru stood. It'd take you a while to uncover it if you wanted to spend some time uncovering it.
I'm just like, well, we know he's got a good set of lungs, so if he's not making any noise, he's probably, we're probably taking care of the issue.
he could be playing dead, playing
He's not
undead.
that smart, is he? No, he's dead.
Okay, let's go.
Get out of here.
Let's leave. I know. I don't trust
Imagine
him.
like the DM being like, you come back to the church later and he's killed the priest and it's your fault for not sifting through the debris for an hour.
I do want to confirm that he's dead, though.
Yeah.
Well, you wanted to have a look, didn't you?
Yeah, and I think we should just make sure that this isn't sort of creature that can just come back to life or something. I don't know.
That's
Were these
true.
pillars destroyed?
What was that? Sorry,
Were
Shannon?
those other pillars destroyed to the east of him? They were within the 10-foot of the...
So basically the weight of that collapse has brought down the last two remaining pillars at the far side of this room, near where Doru was originally huddled, and the three that had been previously destroyed by Ismark, Loris, and Morley, and the one right next to where Doru was. So that entire half of the room has just collapsed. You can look up and there's like that stone altar that was in the middle of the room upstairs is just kind of like teetering.
Oh, earthquake-prone building. Yellow sticker.
Orange, get your orange sticker out, Baron.
Sorry, Bill. I cut you off there.
Does anybody know about these things? I think I read about one in a book once, but it turned into mist and flew away, which I assumed was some kind of romantic ending. The book did. That was exactly what my phrasing meant. I was just speaking very literally.
I have heard about them a bit, but I don't really know that much about them.
I've heard rumors, Bill, in every port I've been to.
Anything useful in these rumors? Like, do we think this has killed it?
I didn't hear any specific rumors about being buried under a pile of church pews, but I know they can be defeated.
Well,
I don't know much about killing them. Sorry, mate.
I'd heard rumors of these creatures. I've heard that a wooden stake to the heart will kill them, but what Loris didn't seem to do much. Also, how's Loris looking? Is he still charmed?
Yeah,
Charmed
Bill,
for a minute.
are you removing that, or does it just eventually wear off?
It just wears off.
All right, so it's not a concentration spell.
No.
Okay.
I've heard that sunlight can mess with them. I don't know if it kills them, but it messes with them, and they can change shape.
All right.
But I don't know if this is a proper vampire or if this is some sort of sub-vampire. Subpire.
I say we light the pile of rubble on fire.
The
I like that
church
idea.
pews will provide good kindling.
Won't the whole church light?
I'll keep an eye on it.
I can control flames. It's fine.
Yeah, and Ismark sort of hears you sort of talking about burning the whole church down. He says, if we could control what we're burning down here, that'd be much appreciated. My father is still upstairs in a wooden box. I do want to just remind everyone.
Well, it's a free cremation, Ismark. I'd like to think we're doing our bit.
You could be onto something. We don't really have a crematorium here, so...
It's a single-use crematorium.
So open-minded.
What I'm saying is there's a lot of dirt around down here. I don't think we'll burn too much as long as we keep the flames from creeping up towards the upper floor.
How will we keep them from doing that?
I can do it. I can control flames. I have some
what she
dominion
said.
over them, remember? Nature
Okay.
powers, nature whatnot.
Nature
Don't
whatnot.
forget my nature whatnot.
I reckon you're a gem.
Has anyone got a match?
Yeah, I've got
Has Mark?
a tinderbox.
Oh, yep.
I'm keen to kind of like strike a kind of a primitive match and just chuck it on that big pile of rubble and then say, "Do your thing, American."
Fantastic. That's beautiful.
Right, yes, I will.
That
And
happens.
would anyone like to say... Excuse me?
Doesn't
Sorry.
Baron permanently have like candles or like something to light his cigarettes with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make a light of match joke with
Ismark.
shit all the time.
I would like to step forward and say, I know this is horrible, but we must respect what this thing once was, and I think someone should say a few words.
Bill, you've
Loris?
been-
And Loris looks to you and just goes, Loris, have nothing to say. Kill beasts.
Caveman.
How much time has passed?
I'd say a minute's passed by now. So we'll say that Loris looks over towards Bill as that shine sort of disappears from his eyes.
I would like to be holding his arm at the time, like thinking about, I'm like counting in beats in my head, like 32, 34, and then
Well,
as
33
he
comes
comes
after 32. So I just,
yeah.
yeah.
Not is that true?
You don't want to be
in Barovia?
premature. You don't want to be.
Yeah.
Not Barovian numbers.
Where
is it?
Bill comes from, that's actually not.
Oh, right.
Barovia sequence.
I just had this weird way of counting where I just don't say the in between seconds. I just
right.
just how I count. I just keep time in my head like a bard.
Perfect.
And just as he's kind of coming out of that, I'm going to be casting Cure Wounds on him.
Right. Okay. Um,
And I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry, big guy. I didn't want to have to do that, but well, I didn't want you to be under that rubble over there, and I didn't see another way. I mean, I obviously couldn't have moved you myself, and I'm healing him.
I think he just smacks your hand off his arm, and he sort of just lets out of this angered grunt. Looks back towards the pile of debris, and he just sort of he looks towards Bill with a really confused look on his face, and he says, I thought the stake would work. And he just sort of walks away from you and past Ismark towards the stairs.
Bill, perhaps you'd like to say a quick eulogy for the departed.
Father, I'm just gonna call out, Father Donovich, you all right?
You can just hear, like, now that you're listening out for him, you're hearing just heartbroken sobs coming from upstairs. He knows that if you're calling out after that major damage to the church, then he knows what's happened to his son, and he's heartbroken.
I'm gonna say a few words, Father. If they comfort you, feel free to come down and
I think
and stand with us.
I think Donovich
From
would
the man who
probably
knew him best.
I think Donovich would probably give him his own little service at a time when strangers that just destroyed him aren't around.
When it's murder.
Okay.
He repels down by a rope.
On my way.
He sits cross-legged on the floor and he's like, "Go on."
Okay. Baron, have you got a cigarette?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I'll reach in. I don't have that many. It's hard to find a shop in Barovia. I was going to ask that little girl.
That's true. You'll be rationing those things.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
I'll give you a cigarette.
I'm gonna take this, light it on my way, walking over towards the pile of rubble, which I assume means like about here.
Yeah. There's probably a line close to the middle of the room, and all the way towards the western side of this room, which is just covered in rubble.
This rubble's burning now, right?
Yeah, like
Yes, please
Molly's
say.
already
Yeah.
like used his tinderbox to light that aflame.
Okay.
And I'm
I'll
just
stay,
got my hands in the air, waving them around to keep it contained.
I'll stay some ways back so I don't get burnt.
Cool.
And I'm just gonna kind of squat down, like standing there with my cigarette, or squatting there with my cigarette. Take one big drag and breathe it out, flick my cape back over my shoulder, and just say, I wish we'd met on better terms. Take another drag. The pain your father's feeling, it's clear that you were incredibly, incredibly loved. This world is unknown to us, but known to you. We hope that we can make it better somehow. Where we come from, this curse of the vampire, it's not a common problem. We hope to end Strahd and his kind for you and for everyone.
And there's a lot of smoke coming up off this pyre as the wood and anything beneath it burns, and it's a good 10 to 15 minutes pass of you just standing in silence, as the pyre burns down to nothing but ashes.
Morley's
Proper
just gonna
vampire.
pour one out from his kombucha. Just pour a little on the ground and take a swig, which is kind of, that's it. He's out now.
Cool. Are you guys all heading back upstairs?
I'm waiting around to. Once this is smoldered down, I'm going to check. But it is just a skeleton.
Okay, so a few more
If
minutes
anything.
pass. And yeah, like I said, it's all just ashes now. It's hot embers, but definitely low enough for you to be able to walk over and start prodding around if you wanted. You can give me an
I'm going to poke
investigation.
around with a stick.
You can give me an investigation roll.
Okay, that's a 16 plus 7.
Perfect. Yeah, great. You scour all of the ashes where Doro was, even where he wasn't, and you find no remains. You don't find any bones. You don't find any body. There's nothing left of Doro anywhere in this floor.
Not even any weird coloured ashes or anything.
No, not even. You're looking for any trace whatsoever. There's zero trace.
Maybe he never existed.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, it was all in our minds.
The end.
That is disconcerting to me.
I'm
Okay.
gonna head up. I'm gonna head up to the top level again.
Okay. I think that's a good time for us to take a break.
Great.
Hey. And also lets me move all of your tokens onto the next floor without missing, without missing
OMG!
stuff.
Teamwork and a spell working in a niche situation. D&D heaven for Joe.
That was awesome. That was
Yeah,
such a good time for that spell.
Oh my gosh! And then Bill having to charm Loris to get him out of there. It worked so well. Like he
Worked like
wouldn't
a
listen
charm,
to
yeah.
anyone. yeah. It actually was a charm. It wasn't even like a charm. It just was a charm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used that spell before either.
And holy
Oh, you
shit,
have?
did you guys
I
need
swear.
that spell?
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
just,
about to get TPK.
Not
I'm just-
really. We could have just dropped the ceiling on him.
I guess if you wanted to keep Loris alive, you needed that spell. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
He wasn't listening.
I
It
figured,
wasn't. I was like, damn, I've really put my foot in it now. I have to go through with this, even if he doesn't. If he doesn't listen.
I figured if he was rolling really low when we tried to persuade him, hopefully he would roll low again. Is that how averages work?
That
Yep,
is how
yep.
dice work.
Oh, yeah,
You-
that was
yeah.
great.
All right.
Wow.
I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so everyone feel free to go grab something to drink. Same with all of our lovely viewers. I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody before because we were dealing with all of our tech issues, but I just want to say hi to everyone that has been watching. As big special hello to anyone who's also subscribed. So hi to Random Origins. I can see you keeping an eye on us tonight. I don't know if... let's have a look. I don't even know who's actually still watching. How can I look at this? Can I see this? Oh, there's quite a few. Oh, that's great. Furry Blue Elf is hanging out quietly, I think. Jackalope92 is here. Callan Darkclaw is here as well. Thanks for sticking around. Terrestrial Starfish. Weeping Jay's back as well. We've got a lot of new names as well. I saw someone raided us before, Happy Viking Man. So thank you so much. We record our podcast at the same time as playing, so I don't really stop and sort of say hi and thank you when I totally should. But your raid is incredibly appreciated. Hopefully the 10 people that you showed up with are still here and enjoying themselves. And look, Happy Viking Man they've just given us a follow as well. ST Kenyon and Moldovanu and Jethniel have all given us follows so far as well. If you've liked what you've seen, please do give us a follow. We're getting incredibly close to 500 now, which is really cool because we only just sort of celebrated 400 only recently. So to know that we're almost at that 500 is really good. I think we only need like 18 more. I think it's 18 more. So if you're watching, just give us a follow. Just give us that. Joe, what do you think? What did you think of Plan A and Plan B? I'll ask the others when they get back as well.
Plan A, solid use of the environment.
Plan A
Pity
was a
it
good
didn't
plan.
seem to work. Plan B, retarded, but I mean, I didn't expect it to not be retarded. So
I mean, that's a win, right?
Oh, sorry. Is that word's taboo now? It's been
Yeah.
cancelled.
People will not follow us if you throw that
Oh
out.
God, no! I've ruined everything.
Speaking of follows, Dana Timkin, Wooly Kiwi, and Crater7 have all given us a follow as well. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means a hell of a lot. If you want to show support in other ways, we've also got a Discord, which is linked beneath here. We've got all of our other episodes on YouTube and in podcast format. So if you like this session, you can follow, you can catch up on the previous 8. And if you like those, then we've also got the Lost Mine of Fandelver that we played through and have both in podcast and YouTube format as well. So hi, thank you for following.
I want to ask what you as a DM thought about it.
About Plan B.
About playing Loris, about how everyone reacted and how it went down.
Yeah, it's I felt the start of this session was a bit it was quite hard because I was playing Doru, I was playing Loris, and I was playing Ismark, and they all kind of had their turns back to back, and it just felt like I was just playing the game with myself, which
it didn't feel like that though.
Okay, well that's all right. Yeah, I thought I really liked the Doru character. It would have been interesting to see what would have again, you guys surprised me. I was sitting here going, how are you guys going to win this fight with Loris obsessed with getting his blood back, and pulling the earth, using the earth tremor to help destroy this room, was fantastic, as well as just knocking him sort of prone as well. Did he? I don't know if he ended up prone.
He failed his dex save, didn't he?
That's right, he did. Yeah. So and then
it was cool. That was the first time I used that spell as well.
Yeah, that was a cool spell. Random Origin says, was destroying the room talked about prior?
Morley just started shouting about it, and at first I was like, we can't do that, and I was like, nah, let's do
it. Morley did say that he had a plan, and he said, should he say it? And I think American said, nah, save it.
Yeah. So no, that was all just from this session, which is awesome.
I think
it was. Yeah.
I don't know.
The
in the
idea.
Chat. No, this was in the no DM chat, so you don't know that.
Oh, was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
Like, let's not say what the thing is, because it's nice to get a surprise.
Oh, right.
We knew Morley was going to say something, but
right. Tell Baron we tried to collapse. Hey, you did write it down. I told you to write it down. You did write it down. That's great. Yeah, no, that was cool. It was cool to see that idea come out tonight and it go right through to fruition. It was very, very cool. Yeah. Sorry, I asked Joe, but I need to ask you guys as well. What did you think of Plan A and Plan B?
Plan A was bite him and drink his blood back.
Plan A was stab him in the chest with the stake.
Oh, yeah.
So Loris must have got some pretty specific info on his pre-knowledge of vampires.
It's probably okay for me to, now that you guys have had a little bit of a discussion about it, I can probably sort of discuss. So what we did last week, we kind of realized that we didn't know what all of our characters knew about vampires in this world and in this campaign. So I got them to roll a d20, either history or religion, or in the case of the Baron, Arcana. And then once I got that result, I gave them a little backstory into what they knew. So Loris got his knowledge of vampires from stories he was told as a child. He knows that they're quite resilient and they can heal their own wounds naturally. One story he remembers was one of his favorites. It was about a vampire that couldn't enter a residence without an invitation from someone within those walls, but one of the occupants was tricked into inviting him in and was murdered. It was, however, defeated when found sleeping in his coffin and had a stake driven through his heart. This is just a story. So like I said, when I gave you this all this information, this could be factual. It could just be from a fantasy story that was given. You don't know the trueness. This is just what you know about vampires. Could be true. You've never had a chance to see if they were true or not.
Which is why Morley yelled, grab him by his feathers. One of the stories Morley heard was about a vampire that was covered in feathers.
Okay.
And despite the fact he could clearly see he had no feathers,
yeah, I liked it.
He thought he'd yell.
Be
Yeah.
able to find some feathers if you go close enough, I suppose. But there was no remains. No feathers,
you
nothing.
didn't find any remains, which is interesting.
We were thorough.
You were thorough. You were thorough. Yeah.
I don't know at what point bone is incinerated. Like how hot.
It has
How
to be
hot?
really hot. That is like
Wait.
cremation hot. That is. It's like
Carol
I mean-
fucking Baskin, that bitch.
I mean, I know exactly how hot bone needs to be incinerated,
Yeah.
and that was not hot enough.
Yeah, Bill's like, oh, you'll never get rid of a body this easily. Huh? Bill? What?
huh? Jackalope says.
He's
she
like,
wants to
usually I
say-
have to burn them for way longer and way hotter. What?
Jackalope reckons it's about 2,000 Celsius. I got no idea. Can you even get?
That's many
I don't even know if
degrees.
you can get 2,000. I think the sun is
No.
only 140, 150.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only like 20 something degrees in summer, so it can't be that hot.
Bake cookies in the sun.
Right. Yeah.
Can stay
How
there.
many in kelvins?
If only there was some way we could type this into some kind of machine,
Yeah.
but there isn't.
I don't
don't live in that
think you want
utopia.
that. I don't think you want that search term on your history. I think you get a knock on the door.
They're not allowed at this point. They've got to stay contactless.
And you and Reagan have been in lockdown for quite a few weeks now. One of you stops showing up on the internet. The search term shows up.
There you go.
Some kind of
1,400 to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's not that hot
Don't-
then.
Nah, it's like it's a bit warm. Put the AC on.
Because it's about half for centigrade.
Oh, right.
This is the least interesting D&D related conversation.
It's
Someone-
700. Yeah, oven's not going to get that
Someone
hot.
watching is just writing this down feverishly. Yeah, I got this. I know what to do with this info. Okay, well, in that case, are you guys ready to jump back in?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay. Cal on. All right. Let's get you back in the church. By the time you guys head up, you notice that Loris had already taken the stairs up. And as you enter into the hallway from that room, you see Loris just sort of standing out on the steps out the front. Ismark heads towards the chapel to Father Donovich. And you can just see the entire left hand of this side of this chapel has just collapsed. It's just gone. And there's still just a little bit of smoke coming up from the bottom there. And at the far end of this chapel now, Donovich is on his knees, facing away from you, and he seems to be covering or at least over something. And Ismark slows his walk a little bit and looks back at Morley and kind of shrugs.
What's he doing?
Leave the man with his pain, Ismark.
But what does he? What do you think he's got there in front of him? What is? It looks like a body.
Oh, really? Can you see? Anyone can see clearly what he's got?
I think with the altar is kind of blocking a lot of that of your view, but you can see that he's hunched down in front of just what looks to be a humanoid shape.
Well, that's concerning.
Hey, what you got there, Father?
And he
Don't bogart that, whatever that shape is.
he sort of he looks around and he says, "Come and have a look. Come."
Okay. Does he seem suspicious
You can give me an
when he's saying
insight.
that?
You can give me an insight roll if you like.
Ooh, okay. Insight. That's just a D20. 10.
No modifier on that.
No.
I think you can see a little bit of confusion in his eyes.
Okay.
What what you got there, Father? As I kind of step forward cautiously.
You step forward, and you just see he's placed a cloak or a robe that he was wearing, one of the robes he was wearing, over what looks to be a body. You can see these blackened, charred feet sticking out from the bottom edge of this cape
Ew.
or robe.
All right.
Black and charred.
It was amazing. With from the smoke, from the fire, I saw my son rise up in a smoky form, and he couldn't go anywhere, and he returned to me in front of me, and now he's like this.
And he just lifts his cape up, and it's just this burned, charred body of his son in front of him. And he just places that cape down. Doru is dead.
Does he seem upset or more like relieved that his son's body has sort of returned to him in a way?
He's quite. I'm not going to say happy. He's relieved. He feels that his son's soul has been let to rest, basically. But that's what he's hoping anyway.
This will allow me to get the closure and bury have an official service for my son.
I want to speak up and say softly, I'm sorry it had to be like this, but I'm glad we could help you put your son to rest and you to rest.
And he places he sort of tucks the cape around just to give more shape to the burnt body underneath it. And he gets to his feet and turns around, and his cheeks are just sodden with tears, and he's just wiping them off, and talks to Ismark.
We must prepare for your father's burial. If you can help me prepare, we should be ready to have the service at 6.
At least take the day off.
He's a hard worker, right?
Why don't we make another spot for your son as well, Father, and we can get this done at the same time. And Donovich nods.
They are brutal and efficient in
They're not going to
Barovia.
put them on top of each other. They're
No,
gonna
I
get
know
their own
that,
ray.
but like 2 for 1.
It's not trying to be helpful.
The top and tail.
Yeah, they're practical in Barovia, okay?
You're right.
Yeah,
He should just leave this. He should just leave this charred body in the church for a week. Sure.
I'm sorry, but I'm a little
but
bit
like-
confused.
He's not taking a day off. They're just like, they're machines here. Like, life is...
I mean,
Life is
I'm not going to
hard.
let
Life
my
is
dead
hard.
son lie charred on the floor for a day. I'm going to get that
Oh,
table
I-
dinner off.
Imagine just keeping your dead son in where you work.
Yeah, bring your son to work day. No.
Oh,
every
look.
day has been bring your son to work day for the last year. He's just been underneath the
Yeah.
floorboards.
Yeah, for
Time
this
cooking.
guy, like, if funeral's a day off, it's like all his Christmases have come at
Yeah.
once. He's like,
Bit of a busman
finally,
holiday.
I think
no more
this-
living son to worry about
Texas
today.
barbecue.
I think
Anyway.
this guy hasn't had a rest from his praying for his son for a long time. At least if he can get his son buried, maybe tomorrow he can take the day off.
He will. I'm sure he will.
You know what?
Yeah.
I hope he
He
does.
deserves that. He
He
deserves
does.
it.
I think he does. I
Morley's
can see
gonna.
it in his eyes that he's going to take the day off tomorrow.
I hope we see him walking in the markets tomorrow. Just
Yeah, like buying
bring
Big,
the weight off
yeah,
of
big
his-
smile on his face. Dude,
No, I think
just the
he's
weight.
gonna buy some food treats. I'm
weight.
going to insight check that to see if he's going to buy some food treats because I feel like he deserves it.
Okay.
What are you trying to insight? If he's going to
Just
take a
seeing
day
what kind of-
off?
if he's going to have a day off and buy himself some food treats because I'm worried that he's going to keep working. I've rolled a 10.
Yeah, a little.
What, 3 plus 7?
He's going to go out.
7 plus 3.
Yeah, he's going to go out and get himself a kebab, I think.
Okay, I'm relieved. I can see that in his eyes.
Morley.
Morley's gonna, because Morley feels bad about like collapsing that roof and causing more damage to this church, but Morley's just going to suggest to Ismark that we're sorry that we had to cause so much damage in the pursuit of our goal here, but perhaps you could get a bit of a Barovian working bee going or something like that and just repair the church. It probably needs a bit of a spruce up anyway. And then Morley's going to start walking towards the door.
I mean, you're looking. The state of this church was not good anyway, but this has made it notably worse.
I like how Morley's like, you're probably going to want to fix it up, and then just spins on his heel and like, bye.
It's like spilling like red wine on someone's cup and go, might want to clean that. Bye.
A bit of club soda on that. That'll buff right out.
We did hopefully provide him with some measure of peace.
Yeah. Ismark turns to
You can't put a price on that.
Sorry, Baron, you've been wanting to do something for a wee while here?
I'm a little bit confused. I want to walk over to him and I just want to ask him. So he was crushed under the falling floor and burned. Are you saying that he appeared floating in the smoke?
Well, the vampires, they can take off on mist form. When damaged enough, we've learned that the vampires take to mist form to try and find their place of rest. But my son, he had no place to rest.
Okay.
So he lay down and rested in front of me.
So you really do think? Because do you have any experience with other vampires?
Just was what I've been told from the many dead that have come my way.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if they are affected by sunlight?
There's definitely stories of them. That's why I kept my son locked away in the darkness. The last thing I wanted was for him to degrade, be damaged.
Yeah. I think it might be a good idea if we just take him outside into the sunlight, just so that this thing is completely gone and your son is returned and the vampirism is completely eradicated. We just want to be sure that he cannot return from the grave.
I'm not sure if I'm on board, but we can.
You're being so overly cautious. He did.
He fucking appeared floating.
Is there sunlight streaming into this church?
Okay, so the sunlight in Barovia is not even remotely classified as what sunlight is in any other town of what you would have seen in Phandalin. The cloud cover means that the sunlight coming through it's enough to like for you to be able to see stuff, but it's like an incredibly overcast day all the time here in Barovia. There's not enough direct sunlight.
Like?
There's some tanning.
I quit. No, so
I might just even try and direct dear Brian away. He's doing the
Donovan just says
son, and it's just like leave it alone.
I'm just concerned that he is ready to put this to bed before actually making sure. That's all.
Please just.
He has been alive for over a year.
Please
downstairs.
just let me bury my son.
Okay, on consecrated ground, it's fine. Do that.
Ismark turns to the group and says, I'll help the father dig some graves, prepare some graves, and we should be ready to go in a few hours. If you can bring my sister, I think she'd want to be here for our father's service.
Mm-hmm.
American?
I do have an insanely specific spell that could be very useful in digging graves. It'd be done in a jiffy, I tell you.
Bigger spell.
You're welcome to. I'm not going to say no to that if you're going to spend the next little while with
Sure.
with Ismark in
It's
the,
the
in the
least I
graveyard.
could do for ruining your place of worship.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Ismark says that would be amazing, but I still need someone to go and get my sister. If we can get that sorted.
I'm heading back there now.
Yeah, I think the rest of us can go and grab her.
Okay. Cool.
Go on,
Not
Billy.
literally, though, right?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we're gonna split the group here. I think Ismark and Mirakin head out towards the cemetery in the back. Let's put you all back onto the map for Barovia.
Can I just say, I only want to split the group if it's not like a big plot thing that I should be going with them.
You guys are making the story. I've decided I'm not saying.
Oh, you
no to
warned us
things.
about splitting the group last time.
Yeah, and then I
You're
felt
like, oh,
bad
it'll be
because
boring
I'm
for
always
you.
like,
And if
no.
you're like, I don't know, I was just trying to be helpful to people, but if it's going to ruin the story, just whatever, you know.
We
Well,
quickly
how
go
long-
get her and we come back.
Yeah.
That was the plan last time.
How long is
You
your
tell
grave
us.
digging
You tell us if
gonna
we need
take?
to do anything.
Yeah, American, how long does your spell take? It won't take very long, right? It's like 6 seconds to cast a spell.
Yeah, I can do a 5-foot cube at a time.
Yeah, a 5 foot.
That's not
cube-
quite 6 foot, but it's almost.
A 5 foot cube. You got to like do 2 of those for each
I just go,
grave,
shloop,
basically.
bloop, graves are dug, and then I
Like
just
5
carry
foot
on.
cube. It's going to be a super wide grave. They're not.
It's like
fun.
Minecraft.
Maybe I can
Yeah.
control it. No,
Move.
listen. You can choose a portion of dirt or stone that you can see and fits within a 5-foot
Oh, yeah,
cube.
cool.
So theoretically, I can do a thin one and just go a splooch and then make one grave and then a splooch and then make the other grave.
Yeah, they're gonna-
Easy mode.
Is
They're
that
gonna
digging
love
5
me
foot
for
deep?
it.
So this is like 12 seconds. We haven't even got out the gate, and she's like, "Hold on."
Done.
Yeah. See, I had built this idea around you guys can go off and do some stuff just to kill some time, but no,
Yeah.
we can do this now. We can totally do this now.
5 foot under.
I'm done. I've done the grave.
But we do need to get his sister.
Okay, so those are spells, right? So to do 2
They are
6 foot
cantrips.
deep and 6 foot long. Oh, they're cantrips, so you can just like pop
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
more of them.
freebies.
Boing, boing, boing.
Okay, cool. So
I'm
you
done.
let's do that. So Ismark's like, you've got spells for this. Yes, okay, let's if it's gonna make things a little bit. Oh, you're done. Okay.
I'm
We're
just
done
like, there?
already.
Okay, we're done.
That was amazing. Okay, yeah. Well, okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't stop the fact that most of these sermons are done at 6. So I'll let Father know. You guys go inform Irina, and we'll meet back here at 6 for the sermon.
Maybe an early sermon.
Can I just ask, what time is sunset, roughly, at the moment?
Ismark sort of looks up at the clouds. He says, "It's quite hard to tell, but it's about the reason we have these services at 6 is because the prayers go out to Mother Night. So it's around that 6 o'clock."
Right. I see nothing wrong with this.
So we're going to be sat in the graveyard at night time with vampires.
Should be fine.
With a dead vampire.
I mean, we can stop playing the campaign if you want. It's,
We're too scared.
With the bait
We don't
that
want-
is luring the vampire.
I thought we could avoid all the vampires, and I'm actually too scared to keep playing
right.
now that we've actually seen one.
Yeah. And killed one. No kidding.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was-
but is he really?
Cool.
No,
That's too mean.
no.
Baron runs in and starts staking the ashes with a
Well,
wooden stick.
I
Pours holy water on it.
was definitely
Doru?
thinking of it.
Is dead. Doru is dead.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Long live Doru.
Long live Doru.
Yeah.
Well,
But
quite
yeah,
the opposite.
come
I would have
on.
thought.
Dory too.
Okay, with the graves dug, Ismark sort of says, "We've got time to kill. We can head back to the tavern for a drink. I need to go and relieve myself for a bit. But if you need to,
Thanks for letting us know.
You were gonna dig those graves
Probably
Before you
gonna
went to
lay
the
a
bathroom?
cable at the bottom of the.
Do you only shit at the tavern?
Sounds like to combine tasks. He's like, it's just efficient. It's just efficient.
They are so efficient here in Barovia. It's like what we think of German culture. It's Barovian culture, just like everything is like bang, bang.
Okay, so we've got an option here. If you want, you guys can spend the next few hours sort of like looking around town, if that's what you want to do. If there's anything that you feel that you haven't checked up on or would like to check up on in town, or we can just sort of fast forward to 6 o'clock.
Fast forward.
Do we have a
mean-
thumbs up for fast forward or a thumbs down if you'd like to do something
Okay.
else? Okay,
I want to
sweet.
fast forward in the tavern and just thinking about the horrible things we just
Oh.
witnessed.
Oh wait,
Oh.
we've got like
Wait.
the post battle AMA to do, isn't that right? Yeah.
I was joking because Loris had made such a massive deal on the Discord of asking me loads of questions. So I was saying, damn, you're not going to be here. Tonight's the night I was going to do an AMA. But
About being a pirate or not being a pirate.
yeah, my piratey
I will
parts.
reveal all. I do actually want to sort of talk to my comrades a little bit in this downtime about how worried I am about Loris when he's out of earshot, that he doesn't seem to see the difference between good and evil when he gets into that state. I'm very concerned about him.
And just being sensible. He was drinking vampire blood. I'm just gonna keep an eye on him so that he does. If he starts to get pale and cold, looks like he's. If he gets his collar pops up or anything.
So
I mean,
let's say you guys
he's-
are all in the tavern having this conversation, right? And Loris is still a bit pissed off.
He's come to relieve himself.
No, that's where Ismark is.
Feels
Loris-
much better.
Stop saying that, Ismark. I don't need to know.
Loris is sitting at another table, but he's not. Ismark's purchased food and drinks for everyone, and Loris is not hungry. He's got a bit of an upset stomach, and he's not feeling very happy anyway.
He's not
but-
feeling charmed anymore.
No, so yeah, he's a little pissed off. But you guys are at your table having this conversation.
You're right, though. We do need to keep a close eye on him. I'm concerned about his judgment.
Seems like a big baby to me. Sulking over there at that table. What's he playing at?
Cool. All right, so the
Good chat.
good chat.
Cool.
Good chat. I'm gonna just cut that straight out of the podcast. Out it goes.
Left on the
Goodbye.
cutting room floor.
The DM's all offended because he's playing Loris. He's like, how dare you? You didn't say that about my character. He wasn't sulking. He was nobly
He's
having a
brooding.
moment.
100% sulking.
He looked really cool, by the way, and you didn't even notice. His brow was furrowed handsomely.
Still got like blood dried on his like chin area.
Oh no.
But yeah, so we'll say that like the camera fades and it comes back.
Ismark's just doing up his fly when it comes back. Oh, that's
Cut to the bathroom.
It's just a
That
big
is
grave.
better.
Yeah. We find the whole crew with Ismark and Irina standing within this this graveyard. Do I have a really cool, awesome description for that? I don't think I do.
I thought we were going to show up at Irina's and she's not there. That's what I genuinely thought was going to happen.
Oh, that would have been. I should have done that, eh?
Dun-dun-dun.
No.
And we were going to be like, God damn it, we were supposed to stay.
I would have been such an asshole if that's like how that went down. Like, go guys, go, no,
it
go.
doesn't matter.
Ah, she's dead. Why do you
fine.
stay?
I'm telling you, out of DM character, you need to all go.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the wrong choice.
So the offensive wrought iron with a rusty gate encloses this rectangular. It doesn't look rectangular. Why have they written rectangular? It's not rectangular.
What shape is it?
It's like a trapezoid, like a curved. Like look at
This
the map.
trapezoidal.
That's
don't know.
terrible that they would have that description, right?
It's like a clamshell.
Yeah, it's like a clamshell. Okay. A
Like a
fence of
Motorola Razor.
yeah. A fence of wrought iron with a rusty gate encloses a clamshell-shaped plot of land behind the dilapidated church, which now has a hole into the ground. Tightly packed gravestones shrouded by fog bear the names of souls long past, and all seems quiet. You see Father Donovich standing next to one grave. You know the other grave is sort of is near the back of the church. We're here to bury Ismark's father. It's just turned 6, and he has asked for just some help getting the coffin into the grave. And Loris obviously puts his hand up.
Loris, yep.
Yeah.
I can help.
Okay, cool. One more, if that'd be okay.
All right, I'll help.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
No. Return of the passive aggressive.
They're all passive aggressive.
Oh no. When you get roped into going to the funeral of someone you don't even know and you're like, oh.
Okay.
No.
Excuse me, we short one pallbearer. Do you mind?
There have
Don't
been
mind me.
Really? There's no one else?
I'll bury everyone. That's fine.
At least he hasn't started talking about his knees yet, so it's all right.
What about that grave digger over there? Do you want him to help out?
I wish I just had like a random face that I could pop up like, huh? I don't. Yeah, so the other thing is that you've noticed there's just candles. There's been a huge amount of candles around this grave that's been opened, this open grave. And the 4 of you with Ismark and Morley at the front, Bill and Loris at the back, carry the coffin over to this grave and slowly lower it down. And all the while, Father Donovich is offering prayers to Mother Night in exchange for Kolyan and Dirovich's deliverance from Barovia. It's a rather solemn affair, obviously, and both Irina and Ismark detail the strengths of Kolyan and how pained Kolyan was that he couldn't keep Barovia safe, how that weighed on him daily. And Ismark sort of tells the story of how upset Kolyan was at the fact that he couldn't even keep his own daughter safe from Strahd, and it was the stress of keeping his daughter safe and those ongoing attacks that proved too much for Kolyan and ended his life. And there are tears from both Ismark and Irina. And there's a moment of silence, and one by one, Irina and Ismark extinguish each of the candles side by side that surround this grave. And when that last candle is extinguished, they start shoveling the dirt, each take one side, shoveling the dirt back onto the grave. And you all sort of take a step back, and Father Donovich comes over to your group, and you're watching both Irina and Ismark fill this grave in, and he says,
Thank you so much for everything you've done for both Ismark and myself. And I hear you're moving Irina away from Barovia.
Sorry, carry on.
We mean to. I believe we're heading north.
Anywhere specific? Was it?
Look, we're kind of new here, so Ismark is really he's the boss here, so he tells us what to do, and we do it.
Cool. Sorry, I'm just trying to find some information because he is going to suggest something, and damn it, it was right here.
I'm trying to remember the name of the town. It was like Valak or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, Valaki.
Valaki.
Valaki?
Yeah, so
pipe up.
he,
Valaki?
Feeling lucky.
Oh, Valaki. Yeah, that's a good place. They're supposedly quite guarded in Valaki. But might I suggest that you take her to the Abbey of Saint Markovia. It's up in Kretsk, which is quite close to Valaki, but I think being an abbey, she might find herself guarded even better against Strahd.
What's the
Fine.
abbey called?
It was the Saint Markovia in a town called Kretsk.
What sort of fortifications does the abbey have that might hold out this this living devil?
That's something I might have to actually look into at some point. I don't think this is. I think Donovich has just heard that it's an incredibly religious place. It's a highly religious place that they've never had an attack from Strahd, to his knowledge.
Probably just filled to
Right.
the brim with holy water and some such, isn't it? I've heard, if this is true, I've heard they don't like that stuff.
Oh, they definitely don't like running water. That's for sure. Any sort of flowing or running water.
Oh, that's
Me,
new.
I loves it.
Can you
He's the anti-vampire.
after this service, Father, can you just give us like maybe a bit of a cheat sheet on all of the stuff that you know about that hurts vampires? That might be super helpful.
I think I've told you everything I know. And I could probably, I don't know, maybe I can find something for you, some more information, but I need to bury my son.
Do they have feathers?
Of course.
Do they, what?
Do
No.
they have feathers?
Baron, I
What?
probably shouldn't have even.
What do you mean, do they have feathers?
I've got on good authority that they have feathers.
They can turn into
Father.
bats, but not, no feathers.
They can turn into bats?
Father, is there anything we can do to help you lay your son to rest for the final time?
Yeah, if you could help me lower my son into his... Fucking hell, another one?
Yes, I'd be delighted.
Of course, Padre. We feel honor bound to do at least that.
Yeah, there's
I can help with shoveling the dirt.
that's,
American's
that
very
could be,
efficient.
that could be very helpful. He's his Donovich's son Doru doesn't have the same luxury that Kolyan had. There's no coffin this time. It's just the burnt body that needs to be placed down into the grave.
And a newspaper.
And the-
Rolled up in a newspaper.
Have you got some gloves or something, Father? Or a big pair of tongs?
Why is there no coffin?
Well,
when did they make a coffin?
Just
it's
get
fine,
the
it's
fucking
fine.
Irina to knock one up.
Bill, you
There's
were
no
bragging
coffin.
about your carpentry
There's
skills.
no
weren't you?
coffin.
Put him on one of the pews. Oh no, we burnt them all.
There's
Never
no
mind.
coffin. There's
It's
no
fine.
wait,
no
does
coffin.
hold on? Does American have mold coffin as a cantrip?
I could make a fake coffin out of dirt inside the grave by using mold earth.
grave.
Oh, there's mold grave if I
That'd be so
do it in a
specific.
grave. I'll mold the earth into the shape of a coffin. We'll put them inside. I'll mold a fake lid on top out of dirt.
Dirt grave.
You can't grow like a tree coffin
think-
around.
I'm just surprised.
I'm going to
that
be
this
honest
place
with
has
you.
no
I'm
spare
not spending
coffins.
any more spell slots on Doru.
He didn't know they were
I don't
needing
know
a
the myth.
coffin. The coffin
It's
maker
fine.
hadn't been informed.
Seems like people die around here all the time.
Look,
Two? That could be
the
the
ground
only
and-
two they've had all year.
Everyone else is in a basement, alive.
How long were we at the pub, and how long did it take Irina and Ismark to make their father's coffin?
Oh, no, listen.
We're just like pissing it up in the pub, like they won't need a coffin. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm not concerned.
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay?
I feel
It's-
bad.
Totally fine. Oh, look, Loris just made a coffin. Don't worry, it's all sorted.
Oh,
thanks.
good.
Father
Good.
Danovich is like, it's fine. He doesn't need a coffin.
No, it's fine. I don't need a coffin.
Coffin or anything. Just passive aggressive Donovich.
Planning ahead.
Okay. One?
How far away is it to Valaki, and how far away is it to this the Abbey?
They wouldn't be much difference, to be honest. You'd probably travel another half day from Valaki to get to Kresk. And Valaki,
Oh, so Kresk is beyond Valaki?
yeah, it's all in. It depends on what paths you take. I'm sure Ismark would be able to point them out for you.
Yeah.
But it'd be a couple of days travel to either.
Okay.
Maybe 3 or 4 days.
By foot or
Yeah, by foot. Yes.
okay. All right.
Well, really appreciate the thought there, father. We'll take it under advisement, and like I said, run it up the chain to the boss, Ismark.
Socialize the document.
See what he thinks.
Yeah. Donovich sort of says,
Like they have a church in Valaki, but if you're going to take her to a religious place, if you're going to keep her safe from Strahd, I would definitely be choosing Kresk.
So are you saying that Strahd cannot enter religious places?
Strahd cannot enter anywhere without an invitation.
But so it doesn't have to be a religious place. You could just be in any place and not invite him in.
Yes, but within the walls of a church, there is no one foolish enough to invite a vampire or Strahd within.
Isn't there?
Except for me, of course, when I'm storing my son.
That's what I didn't want to say.
Except for me.
I'm just thinking,
Not the safest
enter
place.
without an invitation. Someone invited him into the Kolyan house.
But we couldn't ascertain if she was bitten outside the house. That's what I couldn't find out. She may have been bitten, and she had no straight answers about.
yeah, she
couldn't
doesn't remember. She doesn't remember where she was when she was bitten or how the event even took place.
Here's a question: if we had a let's say a cart or something like that, it's a traveling room. Would they have to be invited inside that room?
You'd have to. Are you asking Donovich?
Yes.
You'd have to try it for yourself. We don't really experiment with that kind of stuff. It's life or death.
Yeah.
Is he
So
burying
no one's
his
ever
son
been
yet?
attacked. Or...
No, he's sort
Sorry.
of. He's like pointing out every time he goes to turn around. You
awkward.
guys are asking him another question.
I thought sorry. I thought he was buried.
Oh, why?
So
How
can
did we ruin this funeral so badly?
I thought he was buried.
There's like this.
So it's like goes to like put the dirt on his son. It's like, how many days to Valaki?
How many-
He's like,
So if I built a cabin,
He's the one that was
On the
like
back of a
suggesting
moving
to go
car.
somewhere else.
Would I have to have a bed and kitchen equipment in there for it to classify as a residence? Is it a residence? That's the issue.
Exactly.
paying
Can you
tax
travel
on it.
around in just a box?
What you want is, can you make
If
a
we
camper
go-
van? And then
Yes.
can a vampire get
Jackie
into a
Rick.
camper van?
Yeah. Do they
Or
have to
does
be
it need
invited into a
invite?
camper van?
What about a
An
tent?
RV?
What about like a tent?
Exactly. A tent on wheels.
Even like
I'm
a
leaving.
tiny home technically has to be movable. So if a camper van won't do it, tiny home.
Tiny home. So you guys.
Your
that's what-
father, I'd like to lend you a hand now, Father, and put your mind at ease.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And he takes you, Morley, and you head off to the back of the graveyard. American, I think you're going to go along to see if you can help. cover it with dirt at the same time.
I am making jokes, but American would actually be serious. She would actually be quite solemn and sad this whole time because
that's definitely the
she
tone
knows
of
what
this
it's
episode
like.
for sure. Yeah, solemn. Yeah,
Like-
that's good.
Lots of jokes, but also very sad.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys arrive at this grave that American dug hours ago, and there is just that same cloak wrapped around that shape, that body of the shape of Doru, next to it. And Morley, you and the father lower this body down into the grave, and you both take a step back, and he says a few words under his breath, just sort of to himself. This is more for himself. He's not willing to share his closeness with his son with anybody associated with what happened to him, really. And he nods towards American, and American, you do your cantrip and move that pile of dirt over slowly and with precision to really fill that up nicely and cover it up. And he lets out a sigh and he wipes away a tear. And he turns to Morley and says,
My son. And Kolyan on the same day. Kolyan was such a good man, and my son, such a good boy. Did Ismark tell you about how Kolyan found young Irina?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, well, I don't want to speak out of turn.
and
Oh,
no, tell me.
unburden
please,
yourself, please.
And he looks over towards Ismark and Irina, still shoveling this dirt and sort of standing over Kolyan's grave.
But you knew that she wasn't his natural daughter. Did Ismark tell you that much?
He did.
It was in
It
the
was in,
letter.
it was in the letter. It was in the letter.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Kolyan found her at the edge of the Svalich woods, near the giant pillar stone of Ravenloft, what you can see behind us. Just in the woods out there, and she was but a girl and didn't have any memory of her past, and Kolyan adopted her and brought her into the family and just looked after her dearly.
He sounds like a good man, that's for sure.
Oh, he was. He was.
And he just
so did your son.
Thank you.
and he just turns and places a sort of hand on your shoulder and looks over towards Mirakin, gives Mirakin a nod, and just starts heading back to both Baron Bill and Loris at the same time that Ismark and Irina head towards you all as well. And Ismark says to Father Donovich, how did I forget his voice? Thank you. Thank you, Donovich. Thank you for... It was a beautiful sermon. Thank you for your words. And I might just go say some words over Doru's grave if that's okay with you. And he walks off to the back of the graveyard. And Irina thanks all of you. Thank you so much for helping deliver my father. I'm going to head back. If you wanted to come with me, I want to prepare for our travels. I assume we're heading off first thing in the morning. Does that work for all of you? I just need to prepare a few things, and I think Ismark will probably want to grab his gear as well. And she turns to leave as well. And that just leaves the five of you standing in a group. Father Donovich has gone back inside the church, leaving you guys standing in this quiet now graveyard. Where to from here? Mirakin. What's Mirakin thinking?
Just really, really quiet and contemplating the sad events of the day and sort of lost in thought.
Okay. Baron?
I'm thinking about how we're going to make it to Vallaki. I want to know if there are any transport options or if we're walking or what. And what's the safest way to get there?
Yep, that'll be a big discussion with Ismark, I think, before heading off, that's for sure. Are you guys going to just head back to the mansion now, or is there anything else you'd like to do before calling it a night? It's now, with that whole procession took about an hour. It's about 7 o'clock at night, and it is getting pretty dark, considering it was already quite dark during the day.
I want to go back.
I think, American, you just head off towards and try and catch up with Irina, and just walk with her back to the mansion, keeping her safe. Morley, what's Morley up to?
I'd like to head back to the mansion as well, but I'd like to pop my head around the corner at the tavern to see if I can see any of the... Was it the Visanti?
Vistani?
The Vistani. I want to see if I can see the Vistani in the...
Yeah, there's strangely the same 3 Vistani women sitting at the table that they were at previously.
I probably won't chance my hand with those 3 that told me to fuck off and not so many words. So.
Well, I'll say that you do poke your head in, and they look over at you and give you a nod. And Eric at the bar, cleaning glasses, just looks over at you and gives you a nod as well. There's no hostility in the air at the moment.
All right. I'll just give Eric a nod back, and then one thing I've been wanting to know is if any of the other party members wanted to get their fortunes told as I do by the Vistani.
I'm
going to pop my head back out and address the group.
Yeah. So, what I'll do, the easiest way to speed this up, right, without sort of dragging this out too long, is we can say that you've popped in and you've asked the Vistani at the table that you heard them talking about fortunes. Is that something they can do for you, right? So is that fair?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And the same lady, the same Vistani that that told you to basically back off, a smile appears on her face, and she says, "Oh, you want your fortune told? Well, what we can do, Madam Eva is probably the best one for you on that, and she's just out west at our encampment. If you go there, she'll probably be able to read your fortunes for you. Is it just you or the whole group?"
No, I don't know anyone alive that wouldn't want a glimpse of what destiny offered, except perhaps Mirican, who said she does it herself.
And she
But I wasn't very good at it.
she lets out a laugh and says, "Probably not as good as Madame Eva, though. In fact, none of us at this table hold a candle to her. So why don't you, if you're heading out west anytime soon, stop off and see if you can get your fortune read."
Hey, thank you very much for the information, and I'd like to buy your table a couple of drinks as a thank you. And I just slide a couple of coppers onto the table and leave.
Okay, perfect. And she says something in a different language that seems quite friendly in its tone, and gives you a nod and a smile as you walk out. And you just head back south towards the mansion as well. And you see Loris maybe 30, 40 feet ahead of you that's just making his way back to the mansion by himself as well. Bill, is there anything you're doing on the way back?
No, I'm just going to go try to catch up with Irina and American.
Okay, cool. And Baron, how about you in regards to leaving here?
Leaving the village or
leaving the graveyard?
Oh,
basically heading back to... No, you're just good. Baron, if you take a look on the map here, you get to this crossroads. The first crossroads past outside of that graveyard. And you hear the sound of small wooden wheels rolling along some damp cobblestones, and you can trace the lonely sound to a hunched figure bundled in rags pushing a rickety wooden cart through the fog to your right. And this figure with this cart wheels up to one of the boarded up doors and just knocks on the door, and she's just waiting with her cart next to it. And the door opens up, and she reaches out and grabs a couple of coins out of the hand of just this lonely hand that comes out of the door holding these coins. She grabs the coins and fiddles around in the cart and pulls out what just looks like a small pie, like a small mincemeat, like a little pastry, and places it on the hand of the person from within the home. And the hand pulls back in really fast and the door slams shut. And she wheels herself, and she's wheeling closer and closer, sort of to you. And she gets to a point where she's maybe 2 houses down from you, and she spots you. And she's just this little old lady, and she looks up at you and just gives you a smile.
She's not quite doing contactless delivery, but
not at the moment, no.
It's emotionally contactless.
Is she about to say something? Did you say?
No, she looked up and gave you a smile.
I'll return the smile.
Okay, great. And she
A
walks.
little wave.
Are you just going to continue on, or are you going to stop?
No. I say, oh, hello.
And she waves. Oh, hello, Sonny. And knocks on the next door, and there's no response from this one. And she just wheels across the street to the other door.
What are you selling there?
I'm just selling my little pastries. I call them my dream pastries.
Dream pastries.
Oh, cute.
Would you like?
I want one.
Would you like to try one, Mister?
Yeah. What? Can you tell me what's a dream pastry? Sounds delicious.
She just she reaches into her cart and pulls out this beautiful, like what looks like a mincemeat pie. Just looks perfectly made as well. It's beautifully made.
Is this dream meat?
She says, normally I sell them for 1 gold piece, but you look like a nice chap. I'll give you one. I'll give you this one if you'd like it.
No, I can't accept a dream pie for free.
And she sort of takes a few steps over.
Oh, nonsense. You can have this one. I've got plenty here.
Okay. Seems a little. Normally I'd be fine
like a
getting
cup of tea,
free.
Father?
Normally I'd be fine getting a free dream pie. That is actually a mince pie.
Yeah. Okay.
But can I just check? Do insight maybe on this, because she's given me a free pie, but I don't know why.
It's a nightmare pie.
Give me an insight roll.
An insight one. Okay. An 8.
Any modifiers
No.
on that? No.
No.
You're not picking anything up.
Okay.
From
It seems
this.
fine. Okay, I'll say, well, I can't accept it. I'm going to give her at least like a couple of pieces of silver.
And you hold out your hand with the silver, and she just
No, it's fine.
and she just closes your fingers back over your silver and places the pie in your hand. And
Okay.
she goes,
Oh, I'm very excited to see if you like it.
What's the special recipe? Do you have a lot of customers in this town? Or?
We have quite a few, but the prices are quite steep for a lot of the people here.
Yeah, a gold piece for a pie is quite a lot. I'm surprised that you're giving me a free one.
Oh, but they're worth it.
Okay, well, I'm going to smell it.
okay.
Mmm.
It smells amazing.
This smells amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
Like a dream.
can I? I hate to eat in front of you, but maybe we could.
No, sorry.
You don't mind, do you?
No, please.
Okay. Yum, 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 yum. I'm gonna eat that pie.
Okay, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Are we just watching this play out? Like,
No, you guys have all made your way.
Oh, I thought we were with him.
No, Baron is at the back of the pack here.
I've got a +1 on Constitution. A 19, 18 +1, 19.
Yeah, that's a good roll. This pie is beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. You finish it off, and it just tasted amazing.
So once I started, I couldn't stop.
Yeah,
It's
like,
delicious.
oh yeah, for sure.
Nom, 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 nom. Like the Cookie Monster with the vegetable.
And she looks up at you with these wide eyes and says, well, what did you think?
Well, it was delicious.
Ah, just delicious.
Hell yes. What was in it?
Okay, well I can't tell you what's in the pies. It's a secret, but if you, okay. She's looking.
Secret.
She's looking
11
back at
herbs
her,
and spices.
looking back at her cart and opens it up, and she's like, "Okay, well, I have plenty more here to sell, so I'm just be on
Thank
my
you.
way."
I'm just going to offer her a cigarette.
She said, "Oh, thank you," and she just takes the little cigarette and just places it in a little pocket in her shirt at the front there.
Make her smoke it. Make her smoke it in front of me.
Let's make a whole pack in the closet. I'm going to light one up too. And I say, thank you very much. What's your name?
She says, my name is Morgantha, but I must be on my way to sell these pies. She seems like she's in a bit of a hurry now, and she turns the cart, instead of continuing on the path she was at, she turns around and goes to one of the doors that she had missed earlier, and she knocks on the door, and a hand comes out just like previously, but there's no coins in it this time. And you're hearing this back and forth between Morgantha and the occupant of this house. And you can overhear talk of payment, and you can hear the person within the house sort of complaining about the prices of the pie. But they still need one of these pies. And she hands over one of the pies. And before the door can shut, Morgantha just reaches out and pulls from the door this small young boy. And she's just holding onto that boy's forearm and starts like and pulls a sack out from her cart and starts like putting the sack over this boy and trying to stuff this little kid into this sack. And the parents from the people from behind this door, they're complaining, but they're not trying to stop her at all. They're just complaining about the price of these pies. And she just ends up placing that entire sack over this kid.
Whoa. If she's putting the sack over, I'm just going to step forward and just say, sorry, excuse me, it seems like you're trying to stuff a boy into a sack here. How far away is everyone else?
And that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Good child catcher.
Oh man, what the hell?
I think you've just eaten a child. Shannon.
He loved it.
It was dream
It was
pie.
Delicious.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Pie.
Amazing pie.
Get a
Delicious.
taste for it now.
Yeah. How many
first
pies can
one's
you
free,
make
isn't
out
The
of
first
one
one's
sack?
always free, as they say. Yeah.
Oh no.
That could have been, that was fun. Oh,
It could have been what?
never mind. I've said too much. I've said too much.
Stuffing a baby.
Stuffing a little kid into a sack.
Terrible. And she seemed so nice.
Oh, wasn't she
Morgantha.
nice? Morgantha, yeah.
Yeah, sort of name you don't worry about, isn't it?
Seems like a nice old lady. Okay, so we had a couple of cool things happen while we were just playing there. Random Origins just gave us one heck of a donation.
What?
Oh wow.
So, Random, thank you so much for that. He's chucked us about $36 worth of donation there.
Whoa.
So, dude,
Whoa.
thank you so much. So that does a couple of things. What that does is the little countdown that's on the screen at the moment is getting awfully close to hitting 0. And when that hits 0, something fun is going to happen, which is going to be awesome. And
Free pies.
Free pies for all. We make the Getting Dicey dream pastries and send them to all of our followers.
I know what it is. I don't know what it is.
And the second thing is it just goes towards helping make what we do a little better. It means we can spend it on things. So the last time we got a nice big donation, we enabled the Pro Roll20 system, which means we can have the dynamic lighting and stuff, which is so good, which we saw again earlier tonight. We've also had a couple of new followers. I can't even remember where I got up to last time. I think Hollow Julian and Nerdwagon is now following us, so thank you so much for that. Jackalope has resubscribed for another month. It's for her 9th month, so thank you so much for that support. And again, so every follower, let's get one of these. Thank you so much. Means you get a special thank you when we start and a little dance. And I hope it's and that's it. But also, your subscription goes towards that counter going down. So does all of the follows and everything. Cool. So, what do you guys think of that session?
Awesome. Really enjoyed that.
I'm glad we all made it out.
Yeah.
I'm stoked that the root.
I sort of made an ultimatum, and I was like, I have to follow this.
What was your ultimatum? What was that? Which bit?
Like, everyone get out of there, and I'm gonna bring this place down, kind of thing. And then it's like Loris doesn't respond. Loris doesn't want to. Loris will not do it until like the last second.
Rolling those D20s was actually quite satisfying. That was quite a satisfying way for me to combat like Dave wanting Loris to do this thing versus like, please don't. And just I thought that was a good way to replicate the struggle in Dave's mind by making a really hard DC.
Yeah, it was good and fitting. I mean, the dice rolls fit with Dave's or Loris's personality.
I will say though, I am concerned that we might be soon at odds if we keep playing alongside a character that is very murder happy. I think that's basically going to cause some problems. So we'll see. Yeah,
I mean, I think of when I was cutting for the recap together. Dave specifically says as soon as he learned that there was like a creature living in the basement, he leaned forward and said to Morley and Bill, like, that's got to go. Like that needs to be killed. Like, I think
which isn't like a bad thing.
No, not at all.
It's not a bad thing. But if you're playing a character who like loves killing, regardless of what it is, and wants to draw it out instead of it being a merciful thing, that's like rounding the corner into evil, and I'm like,
drinking squeezing the body to drink the blood is a bit.
Well,
Quentin Tarantino would be like, "Whoa, hang on."
I think that's just weird logic. I can kind of understand that. It's like weird fantasy barbarian logic of, "Oh, you took my blood, I'm going to get it back." I think it's a stubbornness. So it's just.
I actually thought that was quite a funny rationale for it. Like I thought that was quite good.
Yeah, it's just like Loris. I'm not going to speak for like Dave because I don't know Dave's thinking of it, but Loris, his actions aren't like this merciful. We need to put his son out of his misery as a favor to the preacher. It was, I get to kill something and I'm going to fuck it up and I can't wait. And there's like,
and it's all like clap.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to like work with that so much, but we'll see.
And I can imagine it being hard for people who are like Bill. Like Bill has just had this touching story with. Not a touching story, but he's had like a really touching.
I wasn't laughing about that.
He's had this really good moment with Donovich. He's convinced him that his prayers are being answered and they're going to go down there and look after it. And Bill, with that mindset of like, we need to go down there and take care of it. What Bill would think of this, his partner just getting so much glee from killing it instead of it being as the same sort of moment that it is for Bill. Be interested.
Yeah, I think that was definitely like playing on Bill's mind when they went down. Like, this isn't something we get to do; it's something we have to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I'm probably overthinking it a bit, as I tend to do, but I try to get in like the mindset of what would it be like to be next to someone like that. It would be scary.
I think, and normally I would be more caring about a character if a tragedy had happened to them. But for this one, for some reason, I think because he's been prolonging it for a year and not coming to terms with it, I was like, this, you're just making this worse. So I couldn't really feel like once it was all over, it's like, oh, well, well done. Now you can be at peace. It's like, it made it more difficult.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Causing
he just like ran in, and then Doru charged him, and it's just like, oh, there's no backing down from that.
No, it was the priest I'm talking about.
Oh, right.
I can't feel sorry for the priest because he's the one that's actually been causing the pain to his son. It's like not taking your son to the doctor or something if they're a vampire. I'll just keep him in the basement instead.
I would say it's more akin to keeping your loved one on life support because you can't deal with their death. Like, it's coming from a place of love and you are causing yourself pain.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be the one to say, like, it's time.
Yeah. And he thought he was
there was complications to it, but
everything within Donovich was making him believe he was doing the right thing, which is praying to his gods to fix it. Like, that's
didn't work though. No. So I think he should know what a vampire is, and I think his solution was not a good one. That's why I was having trouble thinking, oh, okay, well, you did your best, but really he should have really done his best and gone to get some help.
But he thought he was
good enough.
He thought he was.
Yeah, he thought he was.
Help.
It's like an anti-vacciner or something. He's like, I'm not going to take them to get a vaccine.
Yeah,
I'm going to give them a measles party or something.
This analogies are getting more and more convoluted.
Yeah. It's like being pro butthole. Is that what we're going back to? As well?
Yeah, no, we're anti.
No, that's a callback. Sorry, Morley. Adam.
I guess when we said that we were going to go down and end it, which I was kind of in agreement with, I kind of figured that should be like a quick, painless, noble death, like a mercy killing, not like all this rumbling around and crashing and banging and then when the fucking roof came down, I thought, Jesus, I was the priest. I'd be like, oh, wow, that's there's a lot of noise coming out of that mercy killing.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been quite hard, and that's why I wanted to kind of take care of it like in a lot quieter manner.
Was your idea
I know. But once we got down there, the reality of the situation was that we were going to get fucked up, I think, if we stayed down there. And especially when you said last week about how he appears to be regaining strength, and then when you started talking about his wounds closing up and stuff.
Yeah, and being able to, like, walk on walls, and, like, it was evident that the damage we were doing wasn't very much. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this won't be a quick and easy thing that we hoped it would be. Yeah,
so it started out as this mercy killing, but then it evolved into, like, combat. Just slaying any monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have if it wasn't for Dave kicking it off, you could have still maybe offered him something. He was hungry. Could have.
Does he like
dream
cheese?
Pie?
Cheese. Yeah.
He probably would like the dream pie.
Yeah, probably.
Who wouldn't?
Let's have a look. He'd think it'd be pretty good. We've got another couple of followers as well. Spoon Gams and Scorpion the Demon have now followed us. Thank you so much for your support. We're at 489 followers. We're 11 away from 500, which is incredibly cool.
I think it was, sorry
to
interrupt. I think it was maybe a little bit, we didn't know what we were messing with.
That's what it felt like to me. Was just like,
I thought like all of us full strength, one like minor vampire surely will be
you'd think
like,
it would be easy,
fine. And then it was like, we're not winning and there's 5 of us, 6 of us with his mark.
I'm gonna make you guys feel a little more inferior now. That is designed for level 3 characters.
I think we were just being cautious, though, to be honest.
I think it was only fucking up Loris.
Yeah, like, I didn't feel like we were in danger.
I lost
playing
like
the cautious route, which is good.
I lost like half my hit points from 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Loris
One of
lost,
which was when I ran away.
Loris lost a lot as well as losing like his max HP. But it doesn't help, I think, in this specific fight that there were moments where you guys just couldn't get a shot on.
Yeah, none of my hits were hitting.
Yeah. And
Dolly
again,
was rolling high.
dude, his rolls were amazing.
Yeah.
His rolls
And
were
then we were in
fantastic.
suboptimal conditions because all of a sudden it was like, oh, Loris is on top of him. He's in like cover, and now anyone who's ranged can't hit him. So we were playing pretty suboptimally. So meh.
But you guys,
I like the way that it played out. That's way more dramatic.
Me
To
too,
be like,
me too.
"Damn, bring the place down."
Yeah.
That was cool.
you guys ended that whole thing in such a satisfying way. So satisfying.
There is something I want to say though. I hope bringing up the concerns about Loris doesn't make Dave feel like we were trying to gang up on him when he wasn't here. I am particularly as a player trying to find a way to reconcile that. As playing as a good person, a good character. I tried to do the mental somersaults of like how you would deal with it, and it's really hard.
Right. Yeah.
As long as he does it on a vampire, I'm okay. It was.
Yeah.
There's been other times that he's more concerning to me, like kicking in the door of a farmhouse with a single mum and a child in there and stuff. That was more concerning to me than him wanting to kill a monster.
And that's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think I'm okay with the monster killing.
Yeah.
Side of
He
it.
enjoys it as long as he doesn't do it to something that, I mean, we just have to say, sorry, this guy's insensitive. Sorry, Pastor. He's.
Sorry, he's a psychopath.
Yeah. It's I think we just need to be. I think
He's
Shannon,
a
you're right.
psychopath.
I think
Yeah, it's scary. I don't want to hang out with a psychopath who like
it's kind of like, but as
loves
long as
killing.
he's
That's a red flag right there.
as long as he's killing the right things, though, that's surely
but
bonus.
Do you have to drink the blood? Do you absolutely have to squeeze it like a bloody Juicy? Everyone remember Juicy's at the school canteen?
Trying to get those last few drops out of the corners is the hard bit.
Yeah.
For vampires and juicies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be so frustrated. There'd be so much blood left in that body. Like feet.
It'd be like a bunch left in each toe, and you'd be like, oh.
The toes would be like grapes, wouldn't they?
Why don't they bite them in the feet? Because then it can just all drain downwards.
Yeah.
So they bite them in the neck and the inner thigh, because the inner thigh is the femoral artery where all of the blood runs
They
through.
bite them in the thigh. I've never heard of a vampire biting
Yeah,
them
I've
in the
never heard
thigh.
of that
Check
either.
out, there's heaps
But
of
I've
vampire
heard they're
movies
very
that do that.
practical in Barovia, so I can imagine they would here.
What is it, like Interview with the Vampire does that, I think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Interview with a Vampire is like my favorite movie. It's so
Really?
good.
It's pretty good.
It's so good.
Like,
Tom
Brandon
Cruise and Brad
told me
Pitt,
that he
right?
tried to watch
Yeah,
it.
and Christian Slater.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christian Slater.
And Kirsten Dunst in her
I'm very
heyday.
young, yeah.
Christian Slater's in Lost Boys as well, right?
14 or something.
Is he in Lost Boys?
Isn't he?
Kiefer Sutherland is in Lost Boys.
Yeah, lots of people are in that.
I need to watch that again.
That's a good one. Especially the amazing saxophone dance party.
We've gone a little off topic,
A
but,
little... Have we though? Have we though?
but actually that's my
Vampires.
favorite.
I'm going to do my vampire research this week is going to be watching Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, nice.
I was
Reagan told me it was terrible. I
Maybe he's
swear
not
that's-
in it. He's-
I tried to watch it, I don't know, like 10 years ago again. I hadn't seen it for ages, and I tried to watch it like 10 years ago, and I was just like, "Ooh, this is a slow
'Cause
burn
it's-
movie. This is a very slow burn movie." I was like,
It is-
"Whoa, we must be getting close to the end now." It was like 35 minutes had passed. I'm like, "Oh my God."
There's a
Terrible
lot of
review.
there's a lot of movie there.
There is
It's,
it's
isn't it-
a dense
it's-
movie.
It's based on the Anne Rice books, right?
Yeah.
Which one? Interview with a Vampire?
yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the Lost Boys again. Which has Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
Yeah, that's the one. But no Christian Slater?
No, I don't think so.
Just two Corys.
Which Corey was Donatello in the Ninja Turtles movie?
Was that one of the Coreys?
Yeah. Was it Corey Haim? Or Feldman? I don't know. I'm going to watch Nosferatu.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Don't.
Old school.
I think we should all watch Dracula 2000. It's got one of the only Dracula movies I've seen where Dracula has a lisp. It's amazing. Like the prosthetic teeth, they just give him a lisp through the entire movie.
Also, not on purpose.
It does not seem like it's on purpose. Like it's like there's something they just completely ignore. The fact
I've watched some of the old Bela Lugosi movies. It's great.
Okay.
A lot of vampire movies though they have a bit of a lisp because of the prosthetics.
yeah.
Like usually they try to work around it, but you can totally tell they have something there.
Yeah.
There's some movie where Leslie Nielsen, I think, from The Naked Gun, plays like a comedy granddad vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Dracula Dead and Loving It?
That's the
I
one. Well, there was like a vampire movie that I remember watching in like the late 80s, and I think it was a 70s movie, and I think it was called Love at First Bite. And it's like this disco 70s like comedy vampire movie. And it's got like disco dancing, it's got like flares, and it's actually I remember it fondly. I don't know if it's very good, but I remember it.
To watch it again.
I would love to actually. We should have a watch along on Getting Dicey. I don't know if we can do those. Can you do those? Probably get a takedown notice.
Yeah,
we must be able to do it somehow. No one's going to be like taking down Love at First Bite. Somebody must be like
DMCA. Yeah, that's
like Orion or something.
They're like. We doubled the number of total views we've ever had.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I think it's got the power to do that. I think that could happen.
Got some reach.
You know the Netflix show Dracula? I would really recommend the first episode for sure, and probably the second episode. The first episode is really good.
Which one should I start with?
My friend was like, we watched the whole series, and the ending is horrible, and it made me so angry. It was so bad.
It's quite a twist. I didn't hate it as much as some people did, but I can understand. It's like if you just watch the first episode, it's fantastic.
Oh, really? And then that's kind of it.
Second one's pretty good, and the third one is like, ugh.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Have you all watched the What We Do in the Shadows series?
No.
Oh man, it's so good.
Is it?
It's a series.
I'm so
after the movie.
Is it New Zealand made?
Yeah, it's Taika.
But then there's also an American version.
I don't know.
There's two versions.
Is there? There's two versions of the TV show.
I think so.
I think you're confusing What We Do in the Shadows and that werewolves one that was made in New Zealand.
Is there What We Do in the Shadows with? What's the English guy? He's in the American Berry.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
I think you might be right. I think it might be made in the States or something. Or maybe the UK.
I'm so skeptical. Like when they made that paranormal
Wellington Paranormal.
Oh man, I liked it. I hated that so much.
I like it.
Really?
I thought it was so badly made. Oh dude.
It's clear
of the charm.
It's clear they had like $4 an episode. But that's great. Other than that.
Oh, dude, it's everything about it was so painful.
And that's George's old teacher.
Oh, really?
Is the I forget her name, the officer,
the main officer.
And she's like that.
Karen O'Leary.
Right. She's great.
That's the character's name.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of my friends, worked on the show and wrote for it, but that's, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. That's, that's okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan, to be honest.
I was trying to think of whether or not it would be insensitive for me to make a joke like, "Can you tell them it's shit?" But I don't.
Don't do that.
You only saw one episode, to be fair.
I did only watch one episode because then I thought I'm never watching another one. Not again, ever in my life will I ever watch another one of those episodes.
Going so toxic right now.
You're talking about what's it called?
Paranormal
Wellington Paranormal.
Wellington
Didn't even get the name.
No,
right.
I loved it. I mean, I binge watched quite a bit over Christmas, and I was like, this is good.
I never know where you're going to land on things, Shannon. You're just like,
Yeah.
everything I think is good is shit to you. And very occasionally, like we have the same things line up, and I'm like, this must be pretty good. But now Reagan's in the mix. Now Reagan's like, nah, shit.
I in general, I have a huge issue with like New Zealand comedy.
Really? I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's usually very dark.
And you can see Adam live next week in no. Sorry. Yeah.
Really, it's funny because I've got a big issue with your dungeon mastering. So we can't always get what we want. Come on, it's funny that how the world works.
Shit, I'll put my foot in it now.
Well, it's not as good as Australian comedy, that's for sure.
I was brought up on British comedy, so I just like British comedy.
Only British comedy.
No, not only British comedy, but it's very, very good.
Reagan Brexit Morris is in the house. The BBC front man.
Man, so
Strong nationalist.
Reagan Farage.
Whenever I think of like New Zealand comedy, I just think of that. Like, you guys have seen 7 Days, probably.
7 Days.
7 Days.
No, that's not New Zealand comedy.
That's what I think of.
It's a bunch of New Zealand comedians
doing
panel.
That really forced let's laugh at everything anyone says. Ooh, that is what I think of when I think.
Yeah,
of
but
New
that's
Zealand.
not like a TV show. That's like a panel show. It's not like you're producing there's no script.
And it's just like, oh my god. You can go if you want.
I'm saying you can't compare that.
I'd rather
to
be
like,
here. I'd rather be here to hear it.
To be honest,
compare it to like a movie or a series.
Dude, one of my favorite New Zealand films is God, what's it called? It's all about. It kind of feels like
it's a really strong favorite.
I haven't watched it in a while.
You know that one where the thing happens?
It's got a real lock, stock, and two smoking barrels, and it's all about a pool tournament.
Oh, Stickmen.
Stickmen. Fuck, that's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
that's a fantastic movie.
I haven't seen that.
That's a good movie.
Gerard,
You'll probably hate it, Shannon.
Yeah,
Stickmen is amazing. That's like, it's up there with one of my favorites.
I really like really recent one, Quiet Earth,
I haven't seen that one.
because it must be from 1982.
A real recent one.
Yeah, real recent.
Yeah.
A Quiet Earth is like a classic. Bruno Lawrence is really good.
Okay.
Is that a comedy?
No, fuck no.
What is happening?
So one of your favourite New Zealand comedies?
In New Zealand,
Dark drama.
has a couple of laughs in it.
I quite like What's for Warriors as well.
That's a good comedy.
thing.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's the thing. Like even like all the New Zealand comedy movies, they're all dark.
Yeah, there was one recently, and I'm not talking about the 80s. I think it's by Gerard someone.
Depardieu.
No, Kiwi.
Good Kiwi lad.
And it's made like a horror, like a real horror about this old house that's being haunted, and the daughter has just been like done for drunk driving, and she has to stay at home with her mum in this haunted house.
Housebound.
Shit, and that's a fantastic movie.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah. So I do like some New Zealand comedies when it's like movies and stuff.
Well, that's a horror.
Did you like Taika's work, like Boy?
I didn't like Boy.
What? For the Wilder People?
Oh wait, no, not Boy. What was the other one that he did? Sharks versus Sharks and
Eagle versus Shark.
Eagle versus Shark. Didn't like that one. Haven't seen Boy. Didn't like Eagle versus Shark.
Boy, well, it's completely different. Boy is amazing.
Boy's good.
Yeah.
My family recommended it, but I was like, that sounds very emotional and I can't deal with it.
Did you have to sort of watch for Reagan when your family were in? Actually, we're not allowed to watch New Zealand comedy.
We only watch English.
In the house.
Was it made by a New Zealander? Shh, we don't say that in this house.
John Cleese only in this house.
Blackadder. I do want to watch Blackadder again, though.
Blackadder's amazing.
Joe's sitting on the couch, like watching 7 Days, and Reagan walks in. He quickly flicks it over to flicks it over to Never Mind the Buzzcocks. What are you watching? Panel show?
Just English shit.
Just the panel show? Just the panel show? Buzzcocks is British.
Good. He storms out of the room again.
If it's not Doctor Who, I don't want it in this house.
The classic British comedies only in this house.
Like, hello,
Do
hello.
they even still do buzzcocks? I don't know.
Hello, hello. Oh shit!
That French guy, man.
Yeah,
Renee.
dude. Amazing.
I was on the bum. I was,
Paid to do the pist.
he
See,
said
now,
he wants a dick.
now we're talking. Now
What?
we're
The
talking.
pinnacle of humour. Words that sound like other words. Slightly ruder words.
Yeah.
He said he has farted.
Never saw it.
Oh, well, I know what I'm putting on the TV this week.
No.
All right, I think we're well off topic. We've got people still watching, by the way, who are going,
That's
"What the fuck is
fine.
this? What have
Hello,
they've just
Someone
come
in
in?"
the chat say what they want us to talk about.
Someone who's watching
Hello,
right
hello,
now.
chat.
Someone who was watching right now was on Twitch and they typed in Dungeons and Dragons and then clicked on this one, and they're just sitting here going, "I guess
Or Renee.
these guys are really in their role play right now." Lenny, I will say this only once. So good.
Oh no.
Oh, it's aged so well. That's what I love about it. Absolutely timeless comedy.
I am going to watch the young ones again, though. I've got a list. Watch Young Ones and
What are some-
what other one?
What are some
Let's
good
see, got Blackadder.
Kiwi? What are some good Kiwi TV comedy? Oh, there's no. Okay, never mind.
Why? Why?
Skits.
Stop picking on New Zealand. We have the sexiest accent.
Skits is amazing.
TV since 1994.
And you
So
know,
very recent. Very, very recent.
very, very recent. It was originally called, the first season was called Schizo, and they had to change it because it was like,
Yikes.
no, that's not good. Let's call it Skits.
Oh my
you like Lee Hart, Moon TV?
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
With
Oh,
Speedo
yeah, he's
Cops
pretty
and
funny.
all that.
Oh, how the tides turned.
He's the sort of thing, he's the person I would think, fuck, I'm not going to find this funny at all.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I do.
yeah.
He is funny. He's great.
I liked Havoc and Newsboy, but again, we're going back a long time. We're going back a very long time.
I wouldn't even know what's on TV.
Jason
anymore.
Gunn.
I mean, to be fair, I did love the shit out of that when I was age appropriate. So.
I was just thinking today, he's no Ollie Olsen.
Ollie Olsen.
Don't
What was
do
that? Stay cool to after school?
Yeah, there's the then Jason
I'm
Gunn took
probably-
over.
Not going to be the right age for the rest of anyone to know what I'm talking about. But what now is to have
Yeah.
this really goofy thing called serial stuff.
Yep, I know that.
Anyone
Serial
know what
stuff.
that is? It was so goofy. I used to think it was hilarious.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it would not have aged
Yeah, but
well.
you'd have been about 11 when that was funny, wouldn't you?
Yeah, something like that. Serial stuff.
Serial
No.
stuff. What about Frank Flash?
It was like five.
I remember
it was like
Frank
a
Flash.
5 minute short. I think they did like every week, and they just had like stupid characters putting on stupid voices. It was great.
Great age
Guy-
for New
the
Zealand
main thing I
comedy.
remember
Eh?
is there was a guy.
Evil.
There was a guy called Xerox. Yeah.
There was
It was great.
there was a New Zealand comedy sketch show called Funny Business, which was really good. That was insanely. But
Was
again, that was like 80s again. That was 80s.
Well, I haven't watched
how-
TV for about 20 years.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
Half the things you're listing, Reagan, you love in the New Zealand comedy.
And how many of them have
Reagan
been from
has
the
only
last 20
two
years?
modes, and that is love and hate. By the
It's
way,
not true.
It seems like you only have an issue with 7 days.
No. Like, I'm not going to get into it. I'm stepping away from this one. Because a dislike for something doesn't mean you think all of it is bad.
I want to
dislike
hear
for
a
something doesn't
really
mean
extreme
everything's bad.
statement like Dave made about Guns N' Roses. But
The only-
related to New Zealand
the reason
comedy.
I'm
That's
so
what we're all
bitter-
fishing for.
The only reason I'm so bitter is because there was really only one difference between me and Billy T. James at his peak.
A yellow
Me.
towel.
yeah. That's the one difference.
McPhail and Gadsby.
They had some good stuff.
Letter to Blanchy.
They did
Just the
really good
latest.
political stuff that I was way too young to know what they were doing. They had like full on like puppets and stuff that were that like real caricature.
Spitting him? No. What was it called? There's a New Zealand version.
Dead Ringers. Oh no, that's the English. You probably love that one, Reagan.
Sorry, guys, I got to go watch the Graham Hughes show. Sorry. Okay.
Don't know what that is.
No, I got the name wrong. I got the name wrong anyway. Graham Norton. That was a great joke. That was just...
I love Graham Hughes.
There's a politician or something.
Graham Hughes sounds like a New Zealand knockoff.
It does. It does.
Yeah. Like a cricketer or something.
Yeah, exactly. He does sound like
I need to see that Graham Hughes stepping up. David Hughes is a British adventurer, filmmaker, and television presenter.
I tell you what, I'll try to put a bow on this whole conversation. But this is like the after show.
This is
after we stop streaming, we just talk shit with each other.
Yeah,
the stream is now just being exposed to. There's still 13 people watching us just talk about 30-year-old TV shows and
that are only known by New Zealanders.
We're doing great things for our average viewer count. We were like 30 something at one point, and everyone's just like, "What are they? I'm out."
Yeah,
Stop.
Even New Zealanders wouldn't know half this shit.
No,
I'm catching like 60%.
But honestly, fucking Quiet Earth, watch that. Anyone can watch that.
Anyone? Can a blind person watch it?
And like, it's a science fiction movie in New Zealand, and I think it's groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking. Where can I watch this?
On VHS, by the sounds of it.
On TVNZ on demand or the Film Archive. I don't know.
It's from the 80s.
Link it in the Discord.
Yeah, I'll put it in the Discord. I'll share it on my Dropbox or something.
This feels like somebody recommending Bad Taste to me.
I
used to watch that so many. My mum used to get out of the video store all the time. I used to watch that.
John, do you have a problem with Bad Taste?
I've never watched it.
Oh, okay.
I've been recommended it a lot of times. I've never watched it.
It's a lot.
I have no idea how well that has aged, but I liked it when it came out.
Even at the time, it was like a home movie.
Yeah. The quality wasn't exactly high. But it was like, oh, this one's from New Zealand. Oh, cool.
Okay, so
there was I have something tangential. So there was a New Zealand based a New Zealand made fighting game was released this week.
Oh really?
And I feel and I feel very similarly about that. Like they've used
they're not like Kiwis in it and shit. And
it's called Fight for the Streets.
Yeah.
It's called what?
Fight for the Streets.
Fight for the Streets, I think it is.
Okay.
And
what
is it good?
There's something about the animation style that I just don't
Fight for the Streets. It's not even like on Google.
It's on Steam. It's like 22 New Zealand. Fight for the Streets.
By the way, I've solved a problem here.
Okay.
Corey Feldman was the voice of Donatello.
Corey Feldman. Okay. So anyone in the chat that was waiting on that one didn't want to find out for themselves. But
Corey Haim.
It was Corey Haim.
No, not Corey Haim.
Sorry, we're confusing everyone right now. It's Corey Feldman.
Yeah, and he was even in Ninja Turtles 3.
Well, would you believe that? Was he in all like 1, 2, and 3?
That's when they go back in time. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. I mean, that's great. I'm glad that he did so well the first time that they brought him back for the second and third one.
Yes.
Really embraced the role.
Yes.
Sorry, King of the Streets.
King of the Streets.
Of the Streets.
So it's sort of mixed between King. What's the other King? No, King of Fighters.
It's style wise, like gameplay wise, it looks like King of Fighters, but it looks like Street Fighter, the movie fighting game.
Really?
No.
Yes.
I used to play that in the arcade. Well, not an arcade, in a fish and chip shop. It was
so
terrible,
good. How good was what was the guy's name? The extra that they threw into the game.
What was his name? Because he's in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Okay, now we're really, really off.
Sorry, this is literally just Shannon and John
Yeah.
now.
I'll say let's take this offline now. I think we'll wrap this up. For anyone who is still watching, we've got 14 now, so we somehow
We've really pushed
got
everyone
gained a
to
viewer.
their
we
limit
gained
now.
someone. I don't think
You need
anyone.
to change the name of this chat.
Yeah, I think anyone who's watching now, you're probably already following us. But if you're not, please do give us a follow. We're getting so close to 500, and I reckon when we hit 500, we'll give what?
Sawada was the other character in Street Fighter, the movie they got.
Yeah. If once we get to 500, maybe we'll give out a T-shirt at the end of next
We could
session,
give out a box set of Hello Hello when we get to 500.
Or Friends.
or some others do have them. So we'll give we'll give a shirt away, which you can see underneath the stream. We'll give a shirt away at the end of next session if we can hit 500 next session. So
The shirt will be from Only Fools and Horses.
It won't be. It'll be. It'll be
You
Faulty
plonker.
Towers or something. Yeah. And you can join us on Discord. You can watch all of our other stuff. I've said it millions of times before. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back at the same time next time. And to all of our subscribers, you make me so happy. Bye.